And I know it, when I first say that, it just seems a little crazy. But think about this. Last year, $400,000 house, multiple offers coming in. You might have paid $450, $475 for that house. Now, today, it's officially a buyer's market. So that $400,000 house, you might be able to get it for $375 or even $350. So when you think about that, knowing that you can get a house significantly less today than a year ago, I mean, that's a win-win, right? And mortgage rates are definitely a little higher than they were a year ago. But at thehomeloanexpert.com, we have a saying: you marry the house, you date the rate, you fall in love with the house. You're going to be there for a while, but chances are we'll refinance you and get that rate and that payment down low. So got questions, ready to get pre-approved? Let's talk. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis, you are listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios. Welcome, friends, to the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, and Action Jackson with you on the program. And Doug, a helicopter is coming in. A helicopter is coming in right as the show starts. The paparazzi won't let me be. Usually they catch me at Napoli, but I haven't been there in a month, and so now they are flying overhead.
You see photographers hanging out of the helicopter just trying to get any kind of shot of you?
I feel like I'm Al Cowlings. Yep,
Oh, my.
that's what it seems like here.
Okay. Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, look who's back in studio. It's Ken Strode.
there he is. I saw him sitting over there. Hello, Iggy.
Morning, boys.
How you feeling?
Good. Thank you.
You have leprosy or something? Or
Oh, I just... No.
what did you have?
It was just a bad cold. I had congestion, and, I probably could have come back, like, last Tuesday. But as I told Tim, I said, well, I was on vacation.
You sure you didn't have COVID again?
I haven't had COVID yet, so it wouldn't be again.
Maybe you just had it. Maybe that was it.
Well, I tested. It said positive or negative, so...
Well, which was it? Positive or negative?
I don't know. It said negative.
Okay.
So I don't know. I told Tim, I was going to take a week vacation. That way I don't have to bother you guys with day-to-day. Okay, I may be back Wednesday. I'm not coming in today. And if I just take vacation, I got a whole week to relax and rest up and be back today. So last week was kind of vacation.
Well, you are looking spry today.
I just don't like taking sick days. It's not fair to the station, so I
Come on, they're there for a reason.
So I said, I'll just take my vacation. That way
I'm taking sick days.
I'm not costing the station any sick days, so... I took one of my, you're going on your, 9th on April, so...
Oh my God, Doug, this
Heaven's
stunning
sakes.
development. He's on vacation shaming within 2 minutes.
Comes right out of the chute, firing shots in my direction. I wasn't the one who's been out a week and a half.
Except I just sat at home, and you'll be in Monte Carlo asking for directions to Taco Bell.
Yeah. Restaurant suggestions.
Yeah.
Can't wait to post that.
It's good to be back, though.
Well, you look like you're just at the top of your game, and you might hit 501 by the time the night falls.
I don't know about that.
Well, it's fabulous to have you back.
I missed you guys. It's kind of
Did
just
you
boring
really?
just sitting at home doing nothing.
Oh. Well, what did you do while you sat at home?
Yeah, what did you do?
I watched a lot of documentaries, and that's pretty much what I did.
should
I
have
watched-
Watched a lot of documentaries.
We should have made a list of what all he watched.
I started
'Cause
writing. I
was
started writing it
interested.
down. I was going to say, I'm going to forget. I watched the Pornhub documentary.
Okay, that doesn't
I
count
haven't
as a
started that
documentary.
one.
That doesn't count.
Well, it does. It was kind of a lot of things there I didn't know. I mean, I knew they were trying to shut down Pornhub, but
Are they really?
well,
I
they
didn't know that.
Yeah, they tried to. That's the whole documentary of why they tried to shut down Pornhub.
Who's they? Who tried to shut it down?
Just the people that don't like porn.
Classic rock.
You know, the people on YouTube that have following. So our friend Cherie DeVille was in there. Asa Akira was in there.
Doug, do you say Asa or do you say Asa?
I don't say either because I never heard of her.
our friend Siri Dahl, who
Why is she our friend?
Who is that?
Well, we
I think it might be the OG.
we interviewed her on Biffin Show.
I must have been like
Siri
7
does.
at
I'm a
the time.
Biff and Joe Lemming.
But it was fascinating. And then I watched Hunting Hitler, which I'd never seen before.
That on the History Channel?
Yeah.
Is it really? Man, I'm good.
What, did they indicate that he may not have killed himself and that
Yeah.
he escaped?
And if you watch it, Doug, you may think again.
Wow, what a tease.
That was 3 seasons.
Where'd he go? South America somewhere?
That was 3 seasons, 24 episodes of that. So, yeah, just a lot of documentaries, and I watched a lot of golf starting Wednesday. So, that's what my weekend was.
Okay.
Back
All
to you,
right.
Tim.
Yeah,
Hello,
yourself-
Vivian.
Watching a Pornhub documentary does not count as watching a documentary. I'm sorry. It
I
counts
think
as
it
watching
does.
porn.
No, I
No, there
think-
was no porn. There wasn't no sex in it. It was all about the Pornhub. Tim, what's the name of it? Is it something Geek, Mind Geek? That
Doug, is
owns
it
it?
something Mind
I
Geek?
don't know what you're talking
I think the
about.
people that own it is called Mind Geek.
I'm afraid to even
Out of
type in
out of
Pornhub
Canada.
on Hubbard.
Well, yeah, you should be.
But anyway, watch it. They accused him of having sex trafficking and rape on there, and they didn't care. They sold ads on it, and it was kind of out there. So, yeah, fascinating.
Okay.
Hello.
There it is. It's something for everybody to look forward to tonight. If you're not watching the TMA Fantasy Baseball League draft,
Yes.
that is this evening, Doug. 7:30 start. Perfect time. No other activities in St. Louis area sports, so all St. Louisans can tune in and watch the fantasy draft.
Perfect time for you. This is the final night of the Bachelorette, or the Bachelor, I guess. Zach's got to make a decision tonight, so I gotta watch that while I do the fantasy.
So you're going to be on auto draft?
Well, it's 5:30 at the draft. You'll be done by
7:30.
7:30, 5:30 Pacific, Plowhawk, if you're going to the West Coast today.
Wow. Huh.
You didn't know that?
Usually I'm in bed by then.
You're in bed by 7:30?
Just with the heater blanket on, just
Oh,
watching Grace and Frankie.
well, can you
I
stay
guess
up that late? It'll probably take an hour and a half, maybe.
I'll be up. I'll be complaining in the chat. So
Okay. All right.
gonna get Joe riled up.
Why? Doesn't take much.
I'm interested to see who he's gonna take with the #1 overall pick.
You think he'll get
You
the
think
number
producer
one
Joe
pick?
will have the #1 pick?
Yeah, I think he'll secure it this year.
Well,
I'll be in that 12 or 10 range.
the website does that, right? Yahoo just does that. You don't have any control over that.
That's true, yeah. I'm excited as hell about it.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm always bullish on the draft. And then my team starts to play.
All right. You have a particular strategy in mind?
Nah, I just roll up easy and have a good time with the boys.
You roll up easy. Okay.
Mr. Licks is getting things going early on in the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox, 314-881-TMA5. He says, I have about 20 grievances to air. I was wondering if I could have the entire 8 o'clock hour to myself to call and invent. That's from Mr. Licks.
No.
Doug, how do you feel about
The
him?
answer is no. It's very simple, and it won't change. The answer to that is no. He may not have the entire 8 o'clock hour. He can't. We have way too many important things to discuss. I don't know what they
What,
are, but
what
we'll get
is the lead, Doug? It's a Sadie Hawkins. I know that. I mean, take your pick. What is the lead?
there. Well, normally I think when you're not sure, then it's the Cardinals. But
Ooh, I like that default.
yeah, but in this case, maybe the soccer.
Ah, the doggies! Defense, doggies, defense. Defense, doggies, defense. Clean sheet, doggies, clean sheet. Clean sheet, doggies, clean sheet.
Never thought I'd spend a Saturday night alone watching soccer from Salt Lake City, but there I was.
Are there guys who kick with both legs?
Watched every minute of it.
You were in Salt Lake this weekend?
No, the game was in Salt Lake.
Oh.
They played Real Salt Lake. You were watching the porn documentary. Heck of a game. This team is good.
No, I don't know what I was watching Saturday night. Oh, I was watching the Battlehawks.
Oh. Over the soccer?
Seriously?
I did watch the Battlehawks. Well, it was on free TV, so.
Joe Klaus is the top dog. King Klaus, I call him. King Klaus is to St. Louis City what Stan Musial was to the St. Louis Cardinals. There, I said it, and I stand by it.
Is he leading the league in goals?
In everything, I think. They just keep handing him the ball in front of the net.
Yeah, this looks rigged at this.
They do that.
Oh, I don't get it.
We were watching it and lying in bed, no heated blanket for the record, Plowhawk just lying in bed. And it was the traditional Saturday evening opposition giveaway to Klaus.
It's unbelievable.
And my wife goes, does this happen every game? And I go, I think it's happened 3 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Klaus is second in scoring. He has 5 goals.
Okay, thank you. I wasn't for sure what.
Edward Luan is leading the league in assists, though, tied for leading the league in assists with 4.
Is that an unusual strategy for him just to kind of lurk there by the goal?
No.
Just in case something like that
No.
happens? And
It's
he just takes
unusual that they
advantage of
keep passing it to him.
He's like 6'4" with a beard, right? Like he doesn't blend in.
I don't think he's 6'4".
Well, no, but he seemed to
it?
be
Tall
a
drink of water.
rugged guy.
Strikers are usually they tend to be tall.
Are none of these offside?
No.
No.
I don't know what offsides is in soccer. I still don't, and I hate that. I don't.
Well, what you do know is a great broadcaster, and Doug, this 4-0 onslaught against Real Salt Lake to move the Doggies to 5-0 on the season, top of the table, as you always say.
No.
It was set up by a 4-goal second half because it was scoreless going into the half. And you immediately texted me and you said, what Roman Berkey did in the first half reminded you of what Jordan Binnington did in the first 10 minutes of Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final against the Bruins. He stood on his head, and that allowed the Dogs to have the momentum into the second half, just like it allowed the Blues to have the momentum in the second half of the first period and go into the first intermission with that 2-0 lead. It was a very long text, but I agreed with the sentiment, and so did Joey Zanaboni. Take a listen to this call of Roman Berkey's save right at the end of the first half.
Hit the lever, Palsy.
Over the top. Wanted Julio leaks loose, a quick shot, and Roman Berkey! What a diving save! Roman Berkey rejected it like barber school did with my request to major in body hair.
That's a good one. I'll be honest. That whatever he wrote down on a cue card, that's a good one.
Well, there isn't a major.
Well, could be. In Eastern Europe, I suppose, where they tend to have a lot of body hair. You try to put an orb in Berkey's onion bag, and you are barking up the wrong Berkey.
I was worried about him at first, the start of the season. I'm like, oh, he's giving up some.
He's really good.
He is good.
He only had a couple of saves that required something other than just catching the ball right in front of him. But, boy, he did have a couple tough ones, and he made them. They got a lot of really good players. I don't think you can say it's a fluke at this point.
I was texting with Prod Joe because at this point, like you said, Doug, I mean, 5-0, that's catching people's attention and going, okay, this isn't just fun anymore, although it certainly is fun. How good is the team? And let's see what he said. Something along the lines of, they are MLS good. That I know. I also think they will catch a thumping at some point, but the way they play, those things will happen. But overall, yes, they are a good team. And I gather he means they play super aggressive, and when you play aggressive, inevitably you're going to get burned, and then that's going to lead to some goals on the opposition side. But, Doug, that's back-to-back clean sheets for this team, and once they get a lead, the way they play, they make it very difficult for the opposition to score. But what they do make it easy for the opposition to do is to create mistakes, and that's when they are kind enough to pass the ball to the guy you call Santa Claus? Is that what you call him?
King Klaus. King Klaus.
Nice.
Yeah. But the only thing I can compare it to is the 72 Dolphins, who went completely undefeated. I think that's
Mercury
what we're
Morris.
witness. Yeah. And it's never happened, I wouldn't think, in the MLS where some team won every game. We're watching it right now, play out right in front of us. Really fun.
To go undefeated?
Yeah. That's nice.
I mean, it'll be a pony at City Park this Saturday. You've got Cardinal Day Baseball against the Blue Jays, and then another friend from up north joins us in St. Louis, and that friend will be Minneapolis United FC.
Oh, gosh. Is that their name?
Not
United
the worst
FC?
one yet.
We'll have the
Please
city
don't.
out of it.
That's a hard one to
Sibian?
say. Minneapolis United FC.
City.
Minnesota United FC.
Minnesota
okay.
United FC. Awful name. Horrendous name.
So you'd like the Dogs to put a whooping on them?
Yes.
I think that's what.
The only worse name than that is Sporting Kansas City. That's the all-time worst.
Yeah, I think.
But we're pro sporting on this show.
I'm not pro Sporting Kansas City.
This league needs to change itself from that. I really do think they need to be the Falcons, the Thunderbolts,
Dogs. Yeah.
the Cactuses. Like I think these like fun nicknames you don't typically see, like what the XFL kind of did. I don't like them taking. I'm sure Europe isn't a fan of watching MLS and going, oh wow, there's Minnesota United FC.
They don't watch the MLS.
That's probably true. Sorry.
But if they did, they would see Klaus's second goal, a.k.a. his brace. And here is the call from friend of the show and St. Gabriel's, Joey Zanaboni.
Oh, good.
Can he do anything? Oh, how about this? Klaus, he'll do something here. Gets a turnover down deep. Shot Klaus! There it is! He gets the deuce! Threads it in! Right-hand side of McMath! Jean Klaus! Bracing like a bad orthodontist trying to escape bankruptcy court!
That's also what is brace?
2 goals. If a player scores 2 goals,
Thank
it's called a brace.
you.
Why would that be called a brace?
It's like an old English hunting term. I don't know. But that's what they call it.
I should have Googled it. I saw people saying brace, and I was thinking, what
don't
does that
say
mean?
brace.
I'm looking at
2
the
goals is a
play.
brace, 3 is a hat trick.
Gotcha. Okay.
What in the
I'm
world?
informed. I'm getting better at this.
It doesn't make any
Brace.
sense. A brace?
Well, it makes sense in England.
Why?
I don't know. You're like
But there's
explaining.
not one team in the MLS that's from England.
Correct. Couldn't be more correct.
Clean sheet and brace. Those 2 things I now know.
And how would you like to be Minnesota? How would you like to be them? They go into the locker room next Saturday. We just got a memo. All right, right off the bat, we got to give this Klaus guy a goal. So just go ahead and kick it to him. Let him
We're
score.
already down 1-0.
Oh, that's a serious charge, Doug. That's a serious charge.
Sure is.
That one, though, on Saturday, that was the most egregious-looking one. I mean, he's literally standing right there in between. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you justify.
The most egregious one was the one to open up the season in
See,
Austin.
I didn't get to see that.
That one was rough.
The one that the one
Wasn't
that
even
I
close to
witnessed,
anyone else. It went right to Klaus.
I just didn't understand that because he had his head turned before he passed.
That one was to Stroud, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Last night or Saturday night?
No, against Austin
okay.
to open up the season, the first game.
Yeah. That one, the one Saturday was to Klaus. That was to Klaus.
Yeah, that's insane.
Heck of a start for our
Insane
side.
remembering. That's exactly right. Many people are texting in. Engineer Design Facilities text inbox. Engineer Design Facilities, email in, fire at edf-rg.com. That is how you can work with the text inbox sponsor here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. If you have visibility to your company or place of businesses, commercial fire alarm panel and system, email fire at edf-rg.com, and they'll have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. You can also check them out anytime at edf-rg.com, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. EDF is Missouri and Illinois preferred full-service vendor for licensed and certified professional servicing, monitoring, and testing services for fire alarm services and systems, fire suppression systems, fire alarm system monitoring services, tenant improvements and construction, security access and monitoring services. EDF's fire division is now testing, inspecting, and maintaining the fire system on all commercial kitchen and restaurant hoods. It's EDF, that's Engineered Design Facilities. Doug, can you tell me about our title sponsor, Ryan Kelly?
Well, he's here to help you buy a home. It's a buyer's market right now. Homes prices are starting to go down a little. Rates are still high, but as Ryan always says, you marry the house, you date the rate. So if that dream house is on the market, go ahead and go for it. And then when rates come back down, you can refinance. If you're thinking of buying a home this year, the process not as complicated as you think with the Home Loan Expert. They make the pre-approval process easy. Get yourself pre-approved today, the day you call in, and they will also provide a lower rate with a 10-day closing guarantee. Maybe you're not looking to move. Maybe you just want to get yourself out of credit card debt. The average credit card interest rate now is over 24%. That's the highest it's been in over 30 years. With inflation, people are carrying more debt than ever. Put your equity to work for you with a simple cash-out refinance. The average Home Loan Expert client receives over $54,000 cash out on their refinance. Many of them, the smart ones, take it, pay off that credit card rate. You do not need that credit card debt that will cripple you. That's what a good refinance can do, and Ryan Kelly and his team can show you how to do it. I've used them, and Tim has used them, and we wholeheartedly recommend you check out thehomeloanexpert.com. Thank you, Ryan Kelly. Thank you, Sir Mortgage.
There it is, thehomeloanexpert.com, title sponsor of this program for a decade. Doggies, undefeated, and Doug, Jordan Walker has made the St. Louis Cardinals. Ladies and gentlemen, you may have seen it on social media. Maybe you didn't. I don't know what you saw. I don't know. But here is Oli Marmol meeting with Jordan Walker on Saturday to let him know he has made the team.
No, all right. All right, Plowsy, cue it up and hit the lever, please. Hit the lever, please, Plowsy.
The biggest separator in watching you this entire camp was very simple. When you face adversity, you weren't bothered by it. And that's the separator in the big leagues, is the ability that when there's a little bit of pressure on you and everyone's getting on you for not doing your job, your ability to just cancel out the noise and just keep going at it. And that was the best skill that you demonstrated for everybody. Every staff member has said it. You did that extremely well. And you deserve every bit of being with us opening day for today.
Oh my God. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Congrats.
Thank you so much.
Well deserved.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
Be proud. Well deserved.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
There it is, Doug. Oli Marmol telling Jordan Walker that he is a part of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here is what Jordan Walker had to say regarding knowing he will be in St. Louis on Thursday when the Cardinals open up the season and experience the opening day pageantry.
Jordan, what have you heard about opening day at Busch Stadium, and what are your expectations for being there for it?
I know there's a lot of our fan base is really great. I know, they're going to support and show out and things like that, so I know it's going to be a pretty crazy day. Pretty in a good way for sure, but definitely crazy as well.
Jordan, COVID robbed you a chance of going there and seeing some games. Your dad was saying that, that always kind of hurt that you didn't get to go see some games. Now, your first game you see in Busch, you may be playing in. How cool is that?
Honestly, I wouldn't want it any differently, for sure. Definitely wouldn't want it any differently.
Jordan, what do you think you showed them this spring?
Oh, what I showed them this spring? I wanted to show them all my tools, but I also wanted to show them my character as well. I wanted them to show that, that if when things don't go well, I want to be able to be someone they can trust and that I won't, crumble or anything like that.
I said it there at the end, fellas.
That's where the audio ends.
Bless it. I fell off my chair.
That's where the audio ends. I can't make them make the video any longer.
Josh.
That's where the video ends.
It's like we get bored in the editing process. All right, that's enough. Just hit any key. Any key at all will do.
How? Never mind.
Jackson, just your fault.
Jackson's still upset about the Princeton loss.
Every time that someone else makes a video and they cut it off early, Doug goes, I said it. I said it.
Well,
I'll tell you what, they were happy with the audio of Oli Marmol telling
No, the audio quality was bad on that, too.
This audio is worse than Iggy's excuse for the quote-unquote vacation last week. That's from glove blogger Tom Traven. He writes about gloves, and he also writes about this show.
It sounded like there was like thunder in the background, just rumbling.
Well, it's because they use like the weak-ass little spy cam. It's like everybody knows that they're going to be filming. Like, why not just get a real camera in there? Like, it's not like no surprise. Every team that brings up their star player for opening day puts the little camera in there. They did the same thing with Anthony Volpe and the Yankees. Like, just put a big camera. But there's a camera too.
But you can get a decent mic on even your phone.
Well, talk to the Redbirds. I wasn't down there getting the damn audio.
Doug, call the Redbirds.
The Redbirds shot the Oli Marmol talk with Walker?
Absolutely.
Well, how far away was the mic from Oli?
They like tried to hide it on like a bookshelf.
Oh, that
because I think like they wanted to be like authentic and organic, but everybody knows that they're gonna shoot the video. They've done it since like Whit Merrifield. They did it. They do it all the time.
Do they? I wonder if they shoot any of them when he calls someone in and says, sorry, you're going back to the minor leagues.
That probably isn't as titillating.
Every time the manager gets the joy of telling somebody he made it, he's got to tell somebody else you didn't make it.
Yeah, that's what I love about Hard Knocks, those type.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're going to give you time to catch on with somebody else, maybe.
Yeah.
The Cardinals have a great PR staff because he just probably got the cue card. Hey, talk about the fans. Talk about how great the atmosphere is.
Best fans in baseball.
It's like he didn't even have a chance to step in Bush, and he already knows it's like baseball heaven. It's like, how would he know that without the PR team like having a cue card on the side going, baseball heaven, don't forget about the fans.
Is there somebody in the PR staff with cue cards?
I don't think so.
And that's when media laugh. That's when everyone.
It's us. It's the media asking them about it. It's us.
It's basically
saying, "What do you think about the great fans?" It's us. It's nobody else.
They could have a Jason
The auto
Barrett.
fellatio of us as fans is a phenomenon in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
There's something else. Guys, they should have had Randy Rosarino film it. Thanks. That's from the birthday.
Yeah, he got good audio.
He got great audio.
He got great audio. And they got
He's a guy who knows how to use his phone.
He can use a bat pretty well, too. We saw that.
Yeah.
Dylan Carlson.
Juan Yepez did not make the team. I was surprised by that.
I was too.
Paul
But you
DeYoung
were
makes
okay.
the team.
I realize it's probably like the 10th story, considering they lost 24-1 yesterday and Jack Flaherty got rocked. But if we're talking roster construction, I was surprised he didn't make it. I just kind of assumed he would be on the team.
Well, I think with the injury to DeYoung, they're short a backup middle infielder, and I think Motter can play that position.
This is a stupid question, but who backs up Goldschmidt? Did Yepez play any first base? Or was
Contreras. Contreras can play first.
Can he? Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
Goldschmidt could play 135.
But yeah, Yepez, I think for both spring training games I went to over the last 2 weeks, Yepez was at first base because Goldschmidt was in the World Baseball Classic.
I'm surprised that they don't have him as like a backup, a DH. I mean, it just seems weird that you don't really have a secondary option. I guess if Goldschmidt goes down, you bring him up, no big deal. But I was surprised by that. He's a good player.
Yepez.
Good morning. Marmol sounds like the porta potty guy. That's from the Dogtown Astrovan.
Well, they all do.
Good morning, Deus and fan page admins. What was your favorite post on the fan page this weekend? Doug, this is becoming a new game for this guy. Was it the one where a poster joked that they had spotted Iggy by showing a picture of a person who works for the Cardinals at a private staff meeting? Or was it the one with the guy that everyone apparently outside of you guys knows is using a burner account who displayed fan page self-awareness by calling another fan page user a, quote, coward for disagreeing with his NIL take? Or my personal favorite, the guy who went to a circus at the family arena and was surprised to find a woman taking her shoes and socks off next to him, but was nice enough to show her foot fat pic on the page. That's from the 314.
I don't want to see foot fat.
That'd be a tough get because like it's already hard to get blood flow down there. Having to dig through that.
So if there's cellulite all over the foot, you can pass away.
Well, I feel like it would just go numb, and you just get like eventually there's no blood flow, start to get gangrene.
You need
it just
compression
falls
socks.
off like it's like moose horns.
Boy, that text almost makes me want to come back.
Back to the fan page.
You are still off. I was saying last week on the show that I woke up, whatever it was, maybe Monday or Tuesday, and I saw you had wanted to join the fan page. I'm like, oh, you're back. But somebody had done one of those things where they invited you to the fan page. It wasn't you.
No, I didn't even see that.
So you're not coming back?
No, I don't miss it because I don't get all the notifications. It's kind of nice to go on Facebook and see one notification.
You can turn those off.
I don't know how to do that.
Jackson, why don't you come in and turn off the notifications for Iggy, and then it'll be over, and then you can be back on the page.
I'm willing to do it.
Gotta wait for Apple to download though.
Oh, that's right.
That's a
Gotta get
sneak
Apple on the
peek.
computer.
It's a new program.
Wait, so
And who is the burner that everybody knows about outside of us, by the way? I'd be curious.
I mean, Buck Swope? I don't know.
No,
right?
Buck Swope isn't a burner.
Well, I meant like not using his real name. I don't know.
Well, hardly anybody's using their real name.
On the fan page, it has some decorum. Some.
It does?
And Doug, would you like to see the foot fat pic?
No, I don't want to see feet that look like pig's feet.
Well, if you're on the text inbox, I'm sure you're going to see it.
Really? I don't want to.
That and Mark McGuire's ween.
don't wanna see that
That's
either.
what comes into the engineered design facilities text inbox. Boy, the breathing is back after 10 days of not being there. I wonder where it's coming from.
Oh,
That's from the Illsider, and here we go, Doug.
You feel like you're breathing heavy after your illness?
No, not at all.
Okay. You're kind of tired of talking with us now, aren't you?
Well, not you.
Nothing's
All right.
nothing's new. Just keep them coming.
Okay.
Somebody's not happy with Buck Swope, not calling him a burner. How about Swope arguing that a 2-year extension to Michaelis was a, quote, long-term deal? What a dork. That's from the 573. Didn't see that either.
No matter what you post, someone's got a problem.
How can you see it? There's 1,000 a minute. So
Posting
unless you are
sucks.
on there all day just scrolling, I mean, you're going to miss a lot of things.
Plowhawk, what sucks?
I said posting on the fan page sucks.
Doesn't-
Oh.
It could be a dog, your food, and then you're just getting bashed. Just having a nice night out, and an hour later you look, and you're just getting disintegrated on the fan page in the comment section. It's like, what the hell?
I miss the Angry Libertarian. Best entertainment on the fan pin. That's from the Hunchback of Von Castle. I enjoyed Chip Douglas's urinal question, and also everybody crapping on Zamboni. That's from show ombudsman and also Dogs media critic Brian Henshin.
Well, I don't know those fellas, but I'm sure they're
You
wonderful.
know, Joey Zamboni, we just heard his calls, Doug, leading the Doggies to a 5-0 start.
Yeah. I meant Chip Douglas. Is that what you? Wasn't that the guy on My Three Sons? Wasn't that Chip Douglas? That's who it was.
Yeah.
Chip, Robbie,
Chip and
Mike.
Ernie and Robbie and
Yeah, Chipper,
Uncle Charlie.
Bub.
You know, Adam Wainwright got his name from him.
He got his name from who?
Uncle Charlie.
Oh, is that right?
Oh,
I thought that's
he
what a
got that because
curveball
it
was
was
called, so I thought that
Yeah, you're
is
right,
where
but-
it came from.
But I'd rather just say it was Uncle Charlie on My Three Sons.
I don't imagine very many people on the Cardinals have ever seen one episode of My Three Sons. It hadn't been on since the 60s.
Ended in 1972.
Yeah.
I think everyone in it is dead.
Probably not. Maybe when Tony was there, he probably knew Fred McMurray pretty well.
Yeah, he's probably tight partners with Fred McMurray.
Mozeliak probably put the kibosh on TVs in the clubhouse.
Why would you say this much?
Fancy jukebox, and everybody gets an ascot.
An ascot?
That'd be nice. As they break camp, everyone is awarded an ascot.
You know how football teams love a turnover chain or something? If you hit a home run, you get a home run ascot.
That'd be awesome. You got Wainwright in the dugout just putting it on Newt Bar, just tying it in a bow. And
Whoever hits the RBI gets it.
Hey, friends of the Feather, we got another new sponsor here on TMA, and it's a sponsor that takes care of shrubs, and therefore it is indeed a friend of the Feather, Doug. It's Green Envy, locally owned and operated, been in St. Louis for over a decade, and they are treating both of our lawns and shrubs this year. 636-757-1600. Call them. They are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, so they are open right now to take your questions. Doug, what do you like about Green Envy, our new sponsor here on TMA?
Well, one thing that makes sense to me is they only use products that are formulated for our soil in this part of the country. They take into account our weather conditions and turf types, and they don't use the national generic, cheap, ineffective products. They know what works here in St. Louis. This is not an easy place to grow grass. It's tough here because of the heat, the extreme cold, and it gets dry and it's wet. It's not easy to have a nice lawn in St. Louis. That's why you call Green Envy, and they will make it look easy. Having a nice lawn adds value to your home. They do a great job, these guys.
Yep, they are who's treating our lawns this year, and we would love for them to be treating yours as well. 636-757-1600. It is Green Envy, new sponsor here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After, and Doug and I are both clients of Green Envy. Guys, it's good to have Ken back and talking out of his Linda this morning. That is from Arbor Day. Is that in reference to Linda from the TikTok video?
Must be.
The beehole? Linda the beehole?
I think so. Why would you accuse Iggy of doing that?
Who's Linda?
Yeah, Iggy realized.
She had a beehole.
The beehole.
It's a name this TikTok star gave to her beehole.
Why am I talking out of my beehole?
I don't know. I don't know that you
What
are.
did I say that's
I said
wrong?
that was unfair criticism.
Yeah, I haven't even really had an opinion about anything.
No.
My beehole. He named it Linda.
Oh, I forgot about her.
Yeah. Classy.
She's a big
classy
star now,
music.
and she's like the Allen boy. She'll probably have a...
This counts as music today.
That wasn't a song. That
was a song.
No, it was a TikTok. It was
I
not
heard
a song.
music in the background.
You can't listen to that on Apple Music or anything. I wish you could. I would be banging it all the time, but it's not a song.
No.
Doug, are you concerned about Jack Flaherty? He was the starter yesterday as the Cardinals lost 24-1. Now, they were getting 23.5, so they covered. But are you concerned about Flaherty?
Yes, I think he'd have to be.
Yeah, he's our number 2, right?
Well, yeah.
He is starting on Saturday, day off on Friday after the opener on Thursday.
I think when you take your final start of the spring, you're not just out there trying to tinker with pitches. You're trying to get locked in at that point. And he was not good at all. I mean, sat for a while and then came back in and had a couple of 1, 2, 3 innings. So I guess that's the one bright spot you take from it. But, yeah, I would be concerned having... He's had a couple outings like that this spring where he's really been hit pretty hard.
Yeah, this was eye-opening, but you know what? It hasn't been a great spring for him, as you were just saying, and so this is the guy, and it surprises me that when national analysts talk about the Cardinals, the player they talk about as being so critical as to whether or not they are really successful this year is Jack Flaherty. I don't think, now maybe I'm off the mark on this, I don't think St. Louisans and Cardinal fans necessarily view it through that prism. And I don't know what that's about. Now maybe I'm wrong, but to me, the Cardinals' success this year is hinging on that rotation as a whole. And Jack Flaherty, I think most Cardinal fans at this point view him as a guy that if you get anything of substantial value from, it's a bit of a windfall because you really haven't had him being rock solid in a few years.
Yeah, and you've still been a playoff team, even without him. I think that's just a name that the national analysts can hook onto and say, you know, if he's good, then the Cardinals figure to be very good. If he's non-existent or bad, then they still got a shot to win the division.
Right.
I think.
Oh, yeah. This division in particular. Yeah, Buster Olney was on with us on Balloon Party on Friday, and he said of the 6 divisions, and I'm paraphrasing here, and Jackson, correct me if I'm misstating anything, but I'm pretty sure he said of the 6 divisions, the one that he would feel the most confident in a team winning, it would be the Cardinals in the Central. Now, immediately I would say that's not because he thinks the Cardinals are a 100-win team, but because when you look at the competition in the National League Central, it just isn't there. He also said, and I thought this was interesting, because of, you have Wainwright on the IL. Now, this was before Flaherty's start yesterday against the Astros that we had this conversation, but it's not like, as Doug, you were just saying, it's not like he's been killing it in spring, that you have a developing situation with 4 outfielders for 3 spots. Granted, sometimes there will be DHing responsibilities in there. And you also have what could be, because Nolan Gorman has had this outstanding spring, and then, of course, Mason Wynn, who did not make the roster. That was not a surprise, but he continues to flash with his play. You could have a developing surplus situation in which you would take from that surplus to acquire a starting pitcher, especially with the class of free agent pitchers following the 2023 season. So Olney thought that was a very likely scenario for the Cardinals this upcoming season, that they would trade from one of these position players, middle infielder, perhaps more likely than anything, to get a starting pitcher if they were to continue to run into problems, whether it be with injuries or with somebody such as Flaherty performing in a subpar manner.
Yeah, you've got Edman and Donovan and Gorman, all very capable to play, I would think, every day. And I think any one of them could probably bring you a pitcher. And if you tossed in somebody else along with him, maybe a good pitcher.
I think it depends on what the playing time for Gorman is and where teams see him fitting at. Is he strictly a DH? Is he going to showcase his glove and defense enough? Because I don't see him playing a ton in the infield. I mean, if Donovan's your everyday guy, Edman plays a ton. Those guys don't usually get a ton of days off. So you're talking Gorman, infield prospect, strictly in a DH role. I don't know what the value is there.
No, he's a decent second baseman.
No, I get it, but like we know that. But I mean,
well, if we know it, then the other teams know it. He's got a lot of value because he's got all kinds of power potential, and he's not making any money.
I don't think they're trading Donovan. I could see him maybe trading Gorman, but I think they're really high on Donovan. So.
Yeah, I think they're pretty high on both of them. You know, maybe Edman is the guy. Maybe if they think Wynn is ready, maybe you get something for Edman.
They have money this offseason to spend on pitching. The fact Quintana just must have not wanted to be here. I think that might be. That has to be
Quintana.
No, but that has to be the biggest miss in any offseason I can remember. Just how reasonably priced he was, how well he did here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I just don't get it.
It's odd that they let him get away.
Like you have Steven Matz, who was injured. I mean, you got a lot of guys who are injury prone. Your secondary ace is 42 years old, 41 years old, and Quintana got $27 million total for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I just don't get that at all. And immediately Flaherty is getting blown up. Waino's on the IL for another month. Like it just started off so bad. It's March.
Here is what Buster Olney had to say regarding the Cardinals and the possibility of trading their prospects, or Major League ready prospects, I should say, for pitching.
There's no doubt about it. No team has a better stable of Major League ready prospects, guys who are going to be everyday players in the big leagues than the Cardinals. They're stacked, and I think for Ollie, as he makes decisions on a daily basis, he can simply base it on this: who's playing the best. And he's got this great group of young players, and he can say, hey, Gorman, he's swinging it well, we're going to go with him. Donovan's swinging it well, we're going to go with him. Jordan Walker, he looks great. He's one of baseball's best prospects, we're going to go with him. And I agree with you. When we get to the deadline, if Corbin Burns is available, I feel like the Brewers are a team that's progressive enough that if there was a gap between the Brewers and the Cardinals, the division, it wouldn't shock me if the Brewers are willing to deal with the Cardinals.
Yeah, it would shock me.
I would.
When he said that, Doug, I thought the exact same thing. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Some consider
here's the deal.
Burns the best pitcher in the National League.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's legit Cy Young guy. The thing that I would say about that, if the Brewers were to do that in back-to-back years, I mean, there was not a trade that caused more anarchy in the 2022 season than the Brewers when they were in first place trading Josh Hader away, and you saw what wound up happening to that team. For them to then trade Corbin Burns inside the division to the Cardinals, I'd be stunned. Also, as weird as it might sound, I'm not sure that the Cardinals, depending on the prospects, would want to trade their prospects if they really are high on them. Now, if they're guys that they internally are going, okay, we're ready to sell these guys, if the Cardinals would trade inside the division. But either way, the Brewers trading Hader one year when they're in first place and then trading Burns the next year to the Cardinals, that would absolutely shock me.
Yeah,
but that's
me too.
Buster Olney, and he knows more than we do.
The Brewers have some good players, good young pitchers.
And they got one of the best prospects offensively in baseball coming up, too, in their system. So, I mean, they're kind of stacked. The 2023-24 free agent class for pitching is unbelievable, or 20 whatever.
Who are some of the names, Plowek?
I got to get them up. Sorry. But Corbin Burns is one of them. But, yeah, if you have Waino retiring, you got to go with a pitcher either this offseason or I think you definitely go the route Olney's talked about. I don't know if Corbin Burns is even an option. What you're going to have to give up for him is going to be a lot. And then you're going to have to pay $150 million to him, $200 million.
Ohtani's a free agent next year.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the Cardinals' style to go out and outbid everybody else for a free agent.
I think you
and
have
give some pitcher $300 million.
You have no pitching. I mean, I guess you did extend Michaelis, but beyond this year, depending on how Matz pitches, is Woodruff the guy for the future? How's Libator going to be? You don't really have great, even good pitching. It's solid, I guess, but I think that you got to spend some money. If you're not going to do it offensively and you got a ton of young prospects under control.
I think they're more likely
we have
to make
about 10 straight texts raging on you for your Quintana take. Quintana is out 2 months. Sit down, Plowsy. You hater. Go Birds. That's from the U City
well, he
Turkey
wasn't out
formerly of no-go.
It's great to do
Quintana's out
hindsight
until July.
signings.
Quintana's hurt. The Cardinals must have known something. Quintana's having a huge spring training. Quintana's shut down. Dumb. That's from the Crystal City Clam.
So this offseason, we should have like released Wainwright. We shouldn't have signed him extension because
I'm with
we knew
Plowhawk.
now that
I got to tell you something here. I agree with with the principle of this is super results oriented. He got hurt in spring training. The premise that you have, Plowhawk, is that, and Doug, you were talking about it as well, is that here's a guy who is incredibly effective for you, so much so that he started game 1 of a best-of-3 playoff series, and it just kind of like flew under the radar. Now, if memory serves, I think he signed with the Mets at like 9:30 St. Louis time, and at 10:30 St. Louis time, they signed Contreras. What my theory on it is, it's one of two things. Either they were starting to get hip to the situation with Bailey's, and people are welcome to dismiss it or say I talk about it too much. But that's $70 million in revenue, and if the payroll is in the 170 range, I think we can all agree that $70 million certainly counts to the business, even if you're obsessed with the fact that Bill DeWitt's a billionaire and for whatever reason think he should just lose money. Nonetheless, that could be a factor, or the timing didn't work out, and they were hoping to be able to re-sign Quintana, and they had to prioritize the catching situation first, and because of that, they lost out on Quintana. But the two things happened, I believe, within hours of each other, and it does surprise me that they didn't necessarily bring him back unless you're sitting there going, well, we do have a rotation for 2023. Our question is 2024, and we're not willing to pay that price that he is going to get from the Mets, and so our priority is catcher. I don't know, but I agree in the sense that it was surprising, but it flew under the radar because of the Contreras thing. But because Quintana got hurt, does not mean that the Cardinals made the right decision. And if you don't follow that logic, that's fine. I'd love to sit down and play poker with you if you'd have.
Well, time machines are great, but they don't exist. So at the time, it was a great deal. What did he get? $30 million? I don't know the exact term. 3 for 27 or something like that.
Doug, that information is confidential and will be released in 2015.
No way of knowing it all. I just think it's more likely the Cardinals would trade for some pitcher who's got a couple years left on his contract than to wait around for the end of the year and throw $100 million or more at some free agent.
Yeah, but
they just haven't done that much with pitching.
Those pitchers under control who are going to be decent, obviously, because you're putting them in the rotation immediately, are going to be higher price tag of prospects. Because Corbin Burns, I mean, you're saying if the Brewers knowingly aren't going to give him a $200 million deal or he's going to hit free agency, that's when you go, okay, we'll take a lesser package because it's a half a season rental for them potentially, and we're not going to re-sign him. For a guy that 3 years left, that's a solid player, there's no reason for that team to trade him off without a top package. So I don't know. I think this is the time where you just try a sign and trade, or you.
A lot of young pitchers in the farm system. Jenkins, Graceffo, McGreevy, Lobator. They have a lot of young talent in the pitching.
That is true. I forget. Yeah.
Well, of all the pitchers they might acquire, I would think Corbin Burns would be like at the bottom of the
list.
I
would be absolutely stunned if that happened.
And that's because of the Brewers situation?
Yeah. Why in the world would the Brewers want to give the Cardinals one of the best pitchers in baseball?
And Buster Olney, didn't he put it to where, what was the phrase, if they're completely out of it? What is completely out? Are they beyond 10 games out of it from the Cardinals when they make that trade? Because I feel like those two teams are going to be fighting it out the entire year. I don't see the Cardinals breaking away from that division. Right? Like, I don't think the Brewers are that bad. I don't think the Cardinals are that good to be 12-14.
The thing is, with the multiple wild card spots, you have to really, really be sucking to be completely out of a playoff spot.
So I'd just be surprised.
It's not to say it can't happen, but it's just mathematically, you can be out of the division, certainly, but to be out of the wild card spots, that would take a suckitude of another level of what the Pirates will most likely be doing. Let's see. Jackson, could you tell me about your pant?
Yeah, that's Muggsy. That pants is Muggsy.
I'm wearing Muggsy's.
Tournament trousers.
Yeah, absolutely. Plaza, you're wearing them?
Oh, hell yeah.
How are you feeling?
Oh, they're unbelievable. It's literally like sweatpants, but it looks like I could go on a nice date as well.
Right. Really? And your balls feel good. Let's be honest. 100%. Let's quit beating around the bush. Your balls feel
drooping, and they're also very in place.
Right. They're not riding them up.
Heck no.
Everyone knows that they have those pants. They're like, they look in the drawer and they're like, oh man, I gotta wear these today, because they know they're gonna ride it up. Not with Muggsy, because every time you look in your drawer, you see a pair of Muggsies, you get a big old smile on your face because you know you're about to put on one of the most comfortable damn pairs of pants in the entire world. But it's not just jeans. Of course, they got the world famous jeans. Plowhawk wears, and we all got a pair. Chinos, joggers. They got a ton of different types of bottoms, but they also got tops. Whether that's jackets, cashmere, flannels, t-shirts, whatever you need. Staples that every guy needs in their closet. So head to Muggsy.com, you peruse the website, pick out a couple items, throw them in your cart, use the promo code TMA at checkout. And what that gets you is 10% off your entire order with free shipping and free returns. Again, head to Muggsy.com, use promo code TMA for 10% off plus free shipping and free returns. Experience life-changing comfort with Muggsy.
And experience the magic of winning the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. Today, we are giving away 2 reserved VIP seats to see the movie Air. It's an advanced screening on Tuesday, April 4th, 7 p.m. at AMC Esquire 7. That is the prize for our Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. What a standing situation we have here. Doug, you said call it the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Month table. So if you look at the table, Ghost Rider to the Stars and Buck Swope are both tied with 4. Hey Barry has 3 wins. Kevin Miller has 2 wins. We have 5 more shows in the month of March, and it's going to be fun to see who could really perform here down the stretch for the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. And I was taking a look at the forecast in St. Louis, and oh my goodness, Ken Strode told you it was true, and it's true, it's damn true. Doug, I realize it might be 39 degrees right now, but look at the highs over the next 10 days, Jack. We got nothing but 60s and 70s, minus 1 day in the 50s this Saturday, coming up. I mean, next Tuesday, a high of 78? Holy moly, cockatoli.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
pony season.
It is.
It's pony season, and a week from Thursday, if my sources are correct, it's the Masties, and that's when you just kind of ease on in and celebrate the magic of spring. How do you do? Maybe the time to get your air conditioning checked with Seth Goldcamp and his staff at Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Doug is a client. I am a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client as well? It's Design Air Heating and Cooling. Any issues you may have, all you got to do is go to designairservice.com, click on the Book Now tab, and you are immediately communicating with one of their service techs. And even better, one of those service techs will be at your home within a matter of hours to tend to it. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. And Munganast is the sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour here on the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Online at stlouisacura.com and altontoyota.com. Work with the official HVAC provider, the official automotive dealer of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast, and that's Munganast. Doug, and there is a secret phone number.
There is. I have it here. 314-252-0029. You know what that'll get you? Straight to the Muckety Mucks, and they'll take care of you. I find every time I drive past St. Louis Acura in Manchester, I just kind of stare at the dealership, and I say, there it is. There's the Taj Mahal of dealerships.
Because you know that Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, and Peter Munganaster are either there at Alton Toyota, and they're going to take wonderful care of you. We are incredibly happy clients, and we recommend them to you. 314-252-0029, or go online at stlouisacura.com or altontoyota.com. It's Munganast, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota, sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour and the Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. There was no Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown this week for match play. Am I correct on that?
That's correct.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been fair to Doug.
Why?
Well,
I won the previous week and picked the winner the week before that.
Did you win 2 weeks ago?
I picked the winner.
Is my streak over?
Yes.
Okay. It wouldn't have been fair to Doug. I put a team together for me, but you have to look at it and say, okay, I like this guy and I like him, but when do they play each other? You know, you could have picked 6 guys that were all 3 of them in the same pod, so you already got 2 of those guys thrown out. You know, you got to put some research into the brackets, so it
No.
wouldn't have been fair to you.
You weren't here. That's basically why we didn't do it.
Well, Jackson texted me, and I
forgot to
said,
cut
yeah, I
up
can
the
put one
names.
together, but it's not really fair to Doug to have to pick when it's a bracket format. And it's a pod. You know, there are 4 guys in each pod. Your first 4 picks could all been in one pod. Well, already got 3 guys knocked out.
The match play one's tough because I have to make like 16 different envelopes with all 4 from each pod in there, so Doug doesn't get screwed over.
We
on
could
it.
use different boxes for different pods.
Yeah, we could. It's a lot of work for Jackson.
Jackson, if I'm not mistaken, I gave the people Alabama minus 6 or 7 against San Diego State. I don't know if that hit or not. Doug, if we can look that up to see if they covered.
I'm guessing no, since they lost.
And then I gave the people Princeton plus 10 against Creighton.
Oh, it's a tough beat.
They
lost by 11.
But I also gave the people Sammy Birds plus, was it 2,200 or 4,000? I don't know.
It was one of those 2 numbers. I'm not positive.
Yeah, I can't recall which one I know, but either way, I know I gave the people Sammy Burns, and Sammy Burns did indeed ship the WGC match. So if you put 100 on the Alabama and Princeton parlay, you were minus 100. But then if you put 100 on Sam Burns, you're either plus 2,100 or plus 3,900, all said and done for the weekend. Doug, I make picks, you make money.
That's right.
I make picks, you make
You
money.
make money. I think almost every team I've rooted for to win has lost in the NCAA.
That's how it seems like it's going.
And I don't think anybody's going to beat UConn. Nobody's playing better than
Not
UConn.
this
They don't even have close games. Almost every other game comes down to the 3-pointers they make.
Beat Gonzaga by 28.
They beat their ass.
Oh, God.
That was a
Gonzaga just
stomping.
gave up. They
That
were getting
was
beat so bad.
Embarrassing. UConn looks so damn good. I watched college basketball the entire weekend and loved almost every second of it.
That was a good weekend.
It was great. FAU has a real chance, man.
These Owls.
They're legit. That 7-footer is a problem.
These Owls.
These Owls, man.
No one's going to beat
Let's be real honest about this. This is Final Four is a dumpster fire.
Oh, my God,
Jackson,
it is.
I assume you will defend it because
No.
that is Oh, okay.
I mean, UConn, I guess, is a blue blood prestige team, but outside of that, you got 2 teams from South Florida. No teams in the the 4 seed is the highest seed or lower, whichever way you call it, is the lower seed in the Final Four. That's bananas. And yeah, it's none of the teams, no preseason top 10 teams are in the Final Four. It's certainly the most parity we've seen in the Final Four in some time.
And you know what? A lot of people were concerned that the opposite of that would happen with the transfer portal and
Thank
NIL
you.
money. They thought, oh my God, they're all going to go to the Blue Bloods. There's
helped
not
out
a Blue
so
Blood left.
It's helped out so much. Like, this helped for the parity of college basketball, but it's terrible for ratings and views. Because probably, I'm sure this would be one of the lower rated.
If it's FAU
Final
and
Fours.
Miami in the finals,
Yeah, you're
that
going to
is
see hardly.
ass.
Yeah, you're going to see hardly anybody watching that. But
Well, no,
You'll be
it'll still
watching in
be.
South Florida.
But in terms
It'll
for
be
me,
watched.
I love transfer portal, NIL. I like parity, so I like it. But also, like, yeah, I wish there was a 1 seed in there.
I mean,
wish there
last year we
was
had
a true-
UNC and Kansas playing for the championship, and Duke, UNC in the Final Four. Like it's these are the peaks and valleys.
I like
yeah,
it.
South Florida is to college basketball what Green Bay is to the NFL.
Feels like it. Yeah.
I was out to dinner last night while Miami was beating Texas, and I can tell you with great certainty that there wasn't a soul aware of it. Especially considering you have Miami and FAU, and what, Doug, would you say Boca and Coral Gables about 90 minutes apart, maybe?
About that, yeah.
Yeah. So you could have a showdown in the NCAA tournament between FAU and Miami for the national champion. Well, I appreciate your honesty, Jackson. I thought you might defend it just because I know you love your college basketball.
No, I mean I do. I think it's been a fun tournament. It's certainly like the most madness in the case of March Madness that we've seen in a long time. But no, if I had to handpick a Final Four, I don't think I would pick any of these 4 teams. So
I love the chaos of the NCAA tournament, but my issue with it is it's just you can have this incredible first 4 months, 5 months, I suppose, and then just absolute anarchy, and that is how the season is judged. I can't imagine in Tuscaloosa, and I realize there are extenuating circumstances considering the off-the-court matters that they have, but they're not considering it a successful season to get to the Sweet 16. I'm certain they're not considering it a successful season in Lawrence, Kansas. Duke had a hell of a run at the end of the year, but they didn't go deep. And then what? No, I don't know what the perspective would be in Houston, but I can't imagine they're particularly thrilled about theirs as well. So you have UConn, which has been playing the best basketball, and from an algorithm standpoint, that has been the team, and that's before they even got themselves to the Final Four. But San Diego State, FAU, and Miami, that's a different animal. And people can say they're really looking forward to it. I'm sure some people are. But I would guess that when it's all said and done, the television ratings will indicate the vast majority are not as enthralled with seeing these randoms. We did say going into the tournament that this year versus some previous years, there wasn't really a one seed or a group of one seeds that were as dangerous as previous years. So the fact that all of the one seeds were gone isn't all that surprising, because I didn't see what's the most dominant one seed, Jackson, you've seen in the last few years? Who stands out?
Kansas last year was a load. There's been some Kentucky teams that were just like when Boogie and John Wall were on the team together, they were filthy.
What about that Baylor team?
That Baylor team when they beat Gonzaga, yeah, that was a sick team. Virginia, when they lost to UMBC, had 30 wins going into that game, so they're certainly up there. But nothing stands out as a super dominant one seed. But Baylor is a good call.
Yeah. Guys, this Final Four is like the ending to Game of Thrones. Thanks. That's from Don or Philip Johnson.
Yeah, it's actually a really good. It's been a great tournament, but I don't know. I mean, maybe these these Final Four games are going to be awesome. And that's all that really matters to me, is that it's good basketball. I don't really care who's playing in it.
Mizzou would have been in the Final Four if it weren't for the stupid refs.
No.
Cost us that game at Princeton.
Wow.
Make a call, Zebra. He's down there giving him the business.
This is Tiger Board into a human form.
Mm-hmm. I hated that foul call there in that San Diego State Creighton game right at the end.
Well, there wasn't a foul.
Ooh, I'll disagree.
I can't believe it.
Jackson and I were texting about it before the program because I was curious, which is why I thought Jackson, but I tip my cap to you. I respect the honesty on the Final Four, because I'm just like, okay, Jackson loves college basketball, and he will be the Clark Kellogg on the dais and defend everything. But to his credit, he is saying, yeah, this Final Four, you're going to enjoy it, but you realize most people probably won't. I want to talk about that foul at the end of San Diego State Creighton, and also it leads me to why I think a particular broadcaster is so damn good, and we'll play audio in my exhibit for that coming up on the other side of the break, because I am in the camp with Doug and the Plowhawk on this thing as well. Your thoughts are welcome. 314-881-TMA5. You can call in 636-9004-TMA or email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After, closing out our Munganess, St. Louis Acura, and Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
Doug Vaughn here alongside Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. Ryan, you're well known for doing mortgages and refis, but also nobody does more charity work than you do in the community.
Well, I think there's probably some people that do more, but at the Home Loan Expert, we work hard so that we can have that opportunity to give back. We're well known throughout St. Louis and other cities for climbing mountains, for taking care of children battling life-threatening disease, and taking care of our military. In fact, that's why we launched the Keep Climbing Foundation. Years ago, I started climbing mountains to raise money for forensic kids with cancer and SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Hospital right here. And now that's grown into a full-blown 503 nonprofit. KeepClimbingFoundation.org is where you can learn all about our upcoming climbs, our charitable partners, and the things that we're doing in the community. Yeah, I'll tell you, mortgages are what we do, and we're darn good at it, and our clients love us. But giving back and trying to make an impact is really our reward and what we love. Got questions about a home loan? Thinking about climbing a mountain? Either way, let's talk. Visit the KeepClimbingFoundation.org.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open. Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. If you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design and can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229. Or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and I am thrilled to have new clients on board Longo Biggs Injury Law. CD Longo and Doug Biggs. And Doug, the thing I want our audience to know is that you guys are local and you guys are different. Tell our audience how you're different.
Yeah, Tim, both CD and I are from St. Louis area, born and raised in the South City area or the South County area, and we are also thrilled to be part of the TMA family now. If anyone signs up with us for an injury case, their case is treated like they are family. We get to know you, we get to know the ins and outs of your case, and make sure we represent you like you are part of our family. We're not like one of the large firms in the area who might take your case and just treat you like another number or another file. You'll get our personal attention. It's either CD and I who will handle your case directly, and if you are injured in an accident, please remember us. You can visit us at longobiggs.com, and that's Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
If you are a commercial property manager, property owner, small business owner, or are involved in operations, listen up. Engineer Design Facilities has become the #1 commercial fire alarm service provider in the market. EDF's goal is to not increase your operating budget, but rather decrease it, and at the same time service your business's commercial fire alarm needs with the most experienced and competent technicians this region has to offer. Make sure your building is up to code. Email fire@edf-rg.com to schedule your systems evaluation today. That's fire@edf-rg.com.
Want a $50 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Farms? Just go to the TMA app or TMASTL.com and enter the mobile contest to get you some meat. And if you want to buy some meat, use the discount code TMA10 for 10% off box orders or TMA5 for 5% off bulk orders. Get the best locally sourced meats out of Cuba, Missouri at BrushCreekValley.com and go win a gift card to buy some meats at TMASTL.com. KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Ox is off, too. Oh, Tim's not even here. Ox is off, Doug, but you can hear it.
Well, it's good music. It's not Cassie Moore good, but it's good.
No, it's starting another work week, I guess. That's why we play this.
You think people are down because it's Monday morning?
I think typically, yeah.
Yeah. You don't get down. You have to come in on Monday morning, do you?
No.
If we had real jobs where you had some responsibility or something, it'd be different.
That's true. And also, every day is the same. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's all the same. Oh, what up, Tim? Sorry, Ox was off there.
How long was I
45
felt like
seconds, maybe.
45 seconds? Okay,
Yeah.
all right, fair enough. I apologize.
All good.
I went inside. Doug, I used the little wizards.
Did you really?
Talked to my boys. And I brought out what the ladies in St. Louis clamor to YouTube for. Look at the size of this thing I'm going to put in my mouth.
What is that? Banana?
I like that curve. Yeah.
Oh, could you imagine having a natural curve like that? That would be horrible.
Was it Evan Stone who had that curve? Am I right on that? Evan Stone had that curve?
It was Bill Clinton.
Like a fish.
Didn't his go to the left?
Like a fish hook? No, like I don't mind to go to the left or right, but this one, like if it was like fish hooked up, the angles you're able to.
LBJ called his jumbo.
That's right. We'll talk presidential weens coming up in the 9 o'clock hour here in the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. We welcome our friends to gather around the hearth and text into the program 314-881-TMA5 or call in 636-9004-TMA. It's the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour. If you are in the market for an appliance, look no further than the Appliance Discounters and their 80,000 square foot warehouse full of GE appliances and other major brands ready for delivery. Shop online at theappliancediscounters.com where prices have been adjusted to beat the entire competition. Doug, you go there and just for fun, you shop for ranges.
Oh, absolutely I do. And all other appliances. Every appliance in my kitchen I got there. Every one of them.
Yep.
I did.
And it's the best. 5 locations in the St. Louis area. John and Denise Bradley. Contact me if you would like an introduction. T. McKernan at InsideSTL.com. I'll be more than happy to do that. They have 5 locations in the St. Louis area. They are our 8 o'clock hour sponsor. I just got a dishwasher from them earlier this year. TheApplianceDiscounters.com. Michelob Ultra is the sponsor of our studios and also the upcoming, and we're just a little more than a month away from the Michelob Ultra J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. And, Doug, I am currently a 4.9, and it could go up even higher. Before I head back to St. Louis, I am not negotiating the Hawk very well, and that has led to some very big numbers. You have been looking at my gin.
Haven't.
What have you seen?
Well, I haven't seen any of it. I have not been looking at your gin or your Grint or your swing plane or nothing. I've been watching nothing. So I don't know
what. I played 3 rounds at Abacoa, which is right across the street from Roger Dean Stadium.
Oh, how
and
was
I've
that
got
course?
an 83, 84, 84. Just real problems out there, and my index is skyrocketing. But maybe that's why I'm getting all these member guest invites, because people see me as a value, like I saw Sam Burns as a value this week. Doug, your thoughts?
Yeah, I saw Sam Burns as a big value this week too. Even though I don't think I've ever watched Sam Burns play at all. But nonetheless, the value was there. And anyone could see that, even if you couldn't see him.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that Abacoa course, is that a decent course? I've seen it 1,000 times.
I have to tell you, I really do like it. You know who I'm playing today, and guess who I'm playing? One of the names the cat would love to drop.
Initials.
Pete Prinzi.
Oh,
I'm
Pete
sorry.
Prinzi.
I should have.
Oh.
You might have gotten it too.
Yeah.
Pete Prinzi. Pete Prinzi. I'm playing with Pete Prinzi. Lives in Abacoa, actually, not the golf course. It's a neighborhood, and but the golf course is named that as well. And the former Cardinal strength and conditioning coach. So I'm playing with him today, and I just like to break 80. The bar is so low, the index is going up, and but I guess that'll make me lethal, and I mean lethal, for the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship presented by Michelob Ultra, which will take place on Sunday, April 30th at Gateway National. If you have not entered for one of the, I think we have 7 spots left. go to the fan page, and in that thread, make sure you let us know you're interested, and we will probably draw coming up here in the next week or two. And then we'll set the brackets, and I think that is going to be carried live on the Live pregame show on CW. And it's going to be big.
Since
big,
it's named after Jay, the trophy should have a foot on there somewhere, shouldn't it?
I think it should
I thought
just
you had
be
a Navy
foot.
jacket.
Well, I'll find
Chris Heck has.
I'll find another old sport coat that we can give to the winner. But I would just like him to receive a trophy, the J. Randolph Jr. Foot Trophy. Maybe a golf shoe with a ball next to it, so it can be a foot wedge or a foot fetish thing.
Well, we do still have, I think, a 6-pack or 2 6-pack of the Budweiser AB J. Randolph. Maybe one of those could go to the winner.
It's a nice idea, Plowhawk.
I think it's named after him. And it doesn't matter how well you think your game is, or to Tim's point, his index is going up. It's all about those brackets and how many forfeits you can get in there.
Yeah.
So I think that's the key to
If you're lucky enough, you can win the whole darn thing and never play a round.
You're the championship without busting out a driver yet. That would be great.
Let's see. We got KG in O-Town says, I got a foot we can use. What does that mean?
I don't know. Maybe he has a foot he can screw onto a trophy?
Why don't we do a foot mold? Or somebody could do paper mache foot. Like,
Jennings always said Julie Bowen had the best feet in the game. Maybe she would be kind enough to model for our trophy for the Michelob Ultra Jennings Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship.
Yeah.
I just came up with an idea.
What's the
So,
idea?
What do we have?
Lisa Ann is our great friend of the show. She also has connections with, they mold your butt, or what is it you mold your
Foot.
Your,
We're talking about feet here.
No, I know, but stay with me, Doug. So like girls mold their.
It's a fleshlight, yes.
Well, yeah, but she has a mold connection. Maybe Lisa wouldn't mind molding one of her feet and sending it over as a nice little trophy as well.
Yes, that'd be sweet.
Wow, what a gesture. What a gesture.
Now you're talking about spending money, though, on a mold and everything. I'm talking about just some shoe store throw out a mannequin foot that we could get and screw it onto a trophy.
Okay, that sounds too Hoosier. Even for us, it just...
Look who we are.
Did you give a mannequin foot? Can you imagine that picture? Somebody putting on an oversized sport coat holding a foot.
Wouldn't that be perfect?
I think it would be. Put that on the Christmas card.
Guys, just to be clear, we're discussing making foot fleshlights right now. Thanks, that's from Wolf Boy.
I meant just like a mold of a foot. I thought it would maybe look a little better and have more sentimental value.
But now you're talking money.
Yeah, again, and we're putting all this on Lisa Ann, who doesn't even know about this yet. So, but I just thought it was a thought to have a mold connection.
It would be nice. Maybe they have those already.
Yeah, maybe they're out there for us. Either way, sign up for it. Go to TMA fan page on Facebook. Sign up, and there is a thread where you can just say, hey, I am interested in playing. We will have a drawing for the final 7 spots. I believe it is 7 spots. 57 are already taken. 7 spots, and then we will have an alternate list, and then we will have the brackets. And Chris Heck, who I really think this guy is a heavy favorite to become the first ever Fan Page Club Championship winner to defend his title. I think his game is moving in the right direction, Doug, and it's fun to see because I think he's got to be thinking Corn Ferry at this point, and that would make the first professional golfer to ever win the Fan Page Club Championship, and that's going to be fun for us to kind of have our own horse out there.
It pretty much takes a pro to win this thing because most of the players are so darn good.
Well, he's going to be a back-to-back champ. I can already tell you that much right now.
Well, we don't know for sure. He might forfeit.
That's the only way he won't. I assure you. He is going to be back-to-back. What he does at Gateway is...
Even if he plays a 20 handicap who has a day of his life?
When me and Heck played, we were playing probably 25-mile-an-hour gust on hole 1 in your face.
That's right. I remember that,
about what? I mean, 25 yards, 30 yards.
He was within 50 yards of the green, and considering that wind, that was ridiculous. Let's see what we got. Where is the first round played? It's at Gateway National. Mr. Licks. I wonder if Mr. Licks would get in the field.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think he'd play a public course, would he?
Oh, he definitely would never be showing his face.
I don't think he's on the fan page, is he?
You have to be on the fan page.
No one
to
knows.
Play?
Yeah.
You do? You have to be on the fan page to play in this thing?
Yeah, unless you're grandfathered in.
It's called the Fan Page Club Championship.
That is correct. That is correct. Michelob Ultra, 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs, and the sponsor of our studios and the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship. Also the Dotem. And the station will be announcing, Hubbard Radio will be announcing details on the Dotem here within the next few weeks. Lisa Ann will be returning. It will be a pony. And we are looking forward to the announcement on that. Make sure that you are ready to go, because if I'm not mistaken, it sold out in 3 minutes last year, so you'll want to be loaded for bear when the details come out for that. Guys, I have a green jacket. Ken just left out on your old place's patio for whoever wanted it. That, after 3 years, no longer smells like Salem's and payola fish. Now, to be quite honest, it probably will not fit 85% of the tournament field, so you may want to purchase a Golden Corral gift card as a backup plan. That's from Hall of Famer Carlos Spicy Wiener.
Okay.
What does that say about Spicy Wiener, though, that he came and got it? I just left it on the patio, said whoever wants it, and he drove up and got it.
Did he really?
It's like a game-worn jersey, though. That's like John Morant saying, hey, I just left my jersey at the Hampton Inn pool. I'm sure Jackson would be like, all right, I'm down.
How long does it take for the Salem smell to get out of an article of clothing?
Why did I catch a stray there?
I never wore the thing.
It wasn't a
It wasn't
stray,
even
I'm
mine.
saying. Some people would like that.
That's some old thing I think Swope gave us. It never even went to my
Oh, it was a
house.
Buck Swope gift?
And it never even went to my house. I think it was just sitting in the studio, and I said, here, come get it.
You know, Swope actually wears, like, those jackets all the time.
Sure he does.
I didn't know that.
Dressed.
I've seen him at SLU games a couple of times, and he's been in that really nice blue. It's not, wouldn't say it's a royal or navy. It's not even a powder. It's kind of in between.
Yeah.
But yeah,
guys, breaking news. Iggy will not be playing in this year's Fan Page Club Championship because he is not on the fan page. Iggy, before you say it, we don't want to hear any of this grandfathered in crap. That's from the thumb out of water, and he wants Iggy out of the Fan Page Club Championship.
That's a nugget.
No, if you want me out, I'll be out.
No. No.
That was quick.
Just like that, you'll bow out?
Doug, he just WD'd.
No.
We got to have you in there, Riggs. You can't.
Important guy like that. If he wants me out, I'm out.
Screw that.
This kind of sounds like you're pouting a little bit.
I'm not pouting. I mean, Guy gets to play every year.
Is he on the fan
He's
page?
grandfathered in.
So if you were ever on the fan page, you're in.
He's a member of the show, which
past champion.
If you're a member of the show of which the fan page is dedicated to, I think you get in.
Yeah, you remember that page. I mean, Doug, you're on there, but when was the last time you posted except asked how you could work your Apple TV to watch a soccer game?
Yeah,
Posted a picture of
Someone
me
told
looking like a
gave me
goofball.
good advice. It
Doug joined the fan page for, like, tech support.
It's just a troll bait.
It worked like a charm.
And you'll use it when you go on your trip, because I think just to F with some people, you'll wait till you get to Monte Carlo and ask somebody, is there a good restaurant anywhere near here?
I want to.
Is that a bad idea?
Suggestions in Monte Carlo?
Well, when the Fan Page Club Championship started, that was after the Vestal page, right? This is like the beginning of the current page.
Fan Page Club Champion, Doug, because you guys covered it in 2017,
Never covered
right?
it. Never
2017?
covered it, no.
I can't remember what year.
Jennings won it in 2017. He was the first winner, I believe.
Was he?
I'm virtually certain, yeah.
And I was wondering when you created what we have now. I didn't know.
Well, much like KFNS, I tried to acquire that fan page.
I remember.
And I was not able to get it to the closing table, and so created a different fan page, and that is the one that we have now. And Doug, was that 2016? Was that May of 2016?
I don't know the years, Tim.
So that's why Guy is in, because I don't think there was a requirement because the fan page was so new at the time, breaking off from its original owner, who, again, you couldn't, come to a deal with. So, yeah, that's why Guy is in there, because we didn't have to be on the fan page when he ended up winning it in, I think, 2017 or 2018, whatever.
Mr. Licks is offering a challenge here, and this is breaking news. I will sign up if the Warson Woods Wacko signs up too, and we can match up in the first round. Loser cannot call in the rest of the year. That's from Mr. Licks putting an offer on the table, Doug.
That's an easy yes.
Well, how often do they call in as it is?
Warson Woods Wacko doesn't really call in all that often. He texts in. Mr. Licks calls in, I don't know, about once a week or so.
Okay. Well, I guess both sides would have to agree to that, right?
Yeah, and anonymity is out the window now at that point.
That's right, and that is, of course, invaluable. Welcome back, Ken. I couldn't believe how much I would miss hijackings containing stories we've already heard 10 times until Plowsy had daily 20-minute terrible hot take rants last week. Please save us from that this week. Glad you're better, buddy. That's from Beer Cats, the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month in January. What a sentiment from Beer Cats.
Olive branch.
Thanks, buddy. I don't doubt that Flossie had bad takes.
Oh, I
Why would you say that to him?
I just said it right to him. I doubt he would have bad takes.
Okay.
Oh, you should have heard him.
What do you want me to say to him?
Good takes, hot takes,
They're
nice
pretty rough.
takes.
But you got to get the audience really pissed.
Look, it takes a take.
I don't know about that.
Some people like them, some people don't.
Yeah.
That's like a front and back shirt. It takes a take,
take
and on
is
the
a
back.
take.
And some people like them, some people don't.
Well, some
guys,
takes
I
are
still
hot.
can't get accepted to the fan page. That's from Jeff with 2 Fs. Doug, once again, it is a conspiracy to keep people out of the page, and we just sit around and decide who is in and who is out. Some people would think that that's not real, but it actually is. We decide who is in the fan page and who is not. Hey, I deep tease this, and I want to make sure I deliver on the tease. So I'm watching that San Diego State Creighton game yesterday, and the foul called at the end I thought was terrible. I just thought it was ridiculous, and it wasn't necessarily to call it at that time. As Jay Wright said in the postgame show, they hadn't been calling it throughout the game. But I would understand them not calling it throughout the game, but then they call it in that moment. They get done with the game. San Diego State wins, hit one of the 2 free throws, and that holds up. And then they go to the studio show, and you have Greg Gumbel, you have Jay Wright, you have Clark Kellogg, and you have Charles Barkley and Kenny the Jet. And the focal point of the postgame show for the first approximately 5 minutes is on the Hail Mary pass that Creighton threw from one end of the floor to the other end of the floor that they looked at and then wound up using a stopwatch to time and say the game was over because the clock operator didn't start the clock when the ball was initially touched. And so they used an old handheld stopwatch to time it and say the ball was out of bounds, the game was over, and they spent 5 minutes on that. And to me, that would be the absolute definition of burying the lead. I would imagine the vast majority of the people who were tuning into that postgame show wanted to hear their opinions, not on that play, and should there have been 0.3 of a second left for something that's going to happen 1 in a billion times, which is Creighton being able to literally just touch the ball with a fingertip and somehow being able to score, if it was even their ball anyway. It was the opinions of the studio hosts and Gene Steratore, who is their officiating analyst, on that foul being called. And here is what Charles Barkley had to say after the 5 minutes were spent on debating the Hail Mary and was it out of bounds.
All right, hit the lever plows.
That happened to be 0.2 of a second, which we dissect now so clearly that he could have been 0.2 of a second.
Coach, forget what those guys asked you.
He's an official. He's not a coach. He's an official.
Do that to him. Hey, we're not going to sit there and worry about 0.2 seconds. What about the foul call?
Listen, we consider and dissect a bunch of plays every day, Charles, and throughout every game. And we do. Everybody does. You have to, it's an angle play. We can see the official that's inbounding on this play, the trail official. He'll step down. He's taking the basketball. It's his primary. He's creating an angle for himself. And as he followed that play in, he's the one who posts the foul. In his opinion, he felt like that left hand had displaced that shooter to a place that affected his shot. That's his judgment. That's why he's in this game. That's the decision that he made based on the angle that he had.
And it was the right
and
call.
then we can contemplate that.
But it was the
you
right
can
call.
say it's not big enough because in this game we're supposed to swallow the whistle. We can have
Airborne
those
shooter.
conversations for the rest of the week and on
Guy
into
in the
next
air,
week.
it doesn't take much contact to create a foul.
I don't buy it. I don't buy that was the correct call.
Charles Barkley went on to say after that edit that he disagreed with the call and he didn't like it. Clark Kellogg was very outspoken on that post-game show I don't know necessarily why, but he was. Anytime it got brought up that it was a foul, This leads me to, and then we'll go back to the foul, but Charles Barkley, they did a feature on him. Nice timing on the part of CBS, not coincidental, of course, following Final Four games, or games that send teams to the Final Four, that they time it out to have Charles Barkley on 60 Minutes feature on him. And here is a clip which I think explains one of the reasons why he is so beloved.
Charles Barkley is an NBA Hall of Famer who, in retirement,
I only think that because they suck.
ended up rebounding into a job that has made him one of the most successful and colorful sports analysts ever. Yes, ever.
Why do you suppose people want to listen to you?
I think they know that I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be fair. I don't have a hidden agenda. Not many people on TV that you can say that about.
There you go.
Yeah, that's probably.
And right there, I would say that sums it up. And I had already seen that clip from the upcoming 60 Minutes, and it wound up airing last night. But I had already seen that clip, and I'm like, God, as he's saying that, I'm like, yeah, you know what? He's right. He's right about that. And then, sure enough, as I'm sitting there watching San Diego State Creighton, and I could not believe how much time they spent on 1.2 seconds in the Hail Mary and whether the game should have been over and the ball was tipped, when in a best-case scenario from the Creighton standpoint, or if you just wanted to see a potential miracle, there were going to be 0.3 of a second left for Creighton to have the ball, and they spent 5 minutes on that, when the obvious lead story is whether that was a foul that wound up giving San Diego State the opportunity to hit a free throw to go to the Final Four after a defensive battle. And it was such a bad, from my standpoint, job producing / hosting that show to not be talking about the story. And there's Charles Barkley basically sitting there silent while they debate what college basketball, I'm sure, would much rather have them debate, this thing that is the background story, because talking about officiating is not anything anybody wants to, if you're associated with the sport, want to discuss. And then Barkley goes, forget what they're asking you. Let's talk about what everybody wants to hear. Mm-hmm. And that is, did you think it was a foul? And then the guy who was there to talk about the officiating goes, well, we can analyze any call anytime. Well, give your opinion. That's why you're there. At least Barkley gives his opinion, and he's not in anybody's pocket. He's going to tell you what he thinks. And I think when it's all said and done, that's why people like to tune in. Don't get me wrong, he's entertaining, but people also respect that he's honest. So, Doug, what did you think of the foul and also the Barkley phenomenon?
Yeah, I love Charles Barkley. He's kind of like he is to basketball what John Madden was to football. He's funny and he's knowledgeable, and you trust him, and he just kind of breaks it down in simple ways that really relate very well to the fans. I thought it was a terrible call. You see contact like that almost every time someone drives and gets close to the bucket. Almost every time someone's underneath the basket, pump faking, trying to get a layup with other people hacking away. There's more contact than that, and it doesn't usually get called. To make that call to determine the outcome of a game with no time left, I thought was horrible.
And the fact that I hate when games are called differently in the last minute. And I realize with refs, that's a hard job. It's got to be terrible. There's always going to be one side yelling at you about how terrible you are. It would be a tough gig. But you can't have them play aggressive the entire game, which I like. I like them not having whistles. You know, I don't like 40 foul calls a game. But you can't last minute call ticky-tacky ones. You just can't.
Yeah. If they hadn't called it, man. If he had made no call, I don't think anyone would have said, my God, he was fouled on that.
No.
I don't think anyone would have even raised that possibility.
I just don't get what a foul is anymore. It's just so inconsistent.
Yeah.
And you're talking not game by game. You're talking half by half in some games. It's called differently in the first half than the second half.
Yeah.
It's just so weird.
It's got to be the toughest officiating job in all of sports. Oh, yeah. I'll give him that.
But as Jay Wright was saying on that post-game show, he made the observation. If there's kind of an unspoken agreement, I've never heard it put this way, but he said there's kind of an unspoken agreement between the coaches and the officials throughout the course of a game that you understand the way the game is going to be called. Now, you don't know that, of course, at tip-off, but as the game goes, you have an understanding of whether or not they're going to be calling a bunch of fouls or they're going to let them play. In the case of that game, they let them play. which would certainly be advantageous to San Diego State, a team known and having the kind of success. What, they've won 14 of 15, Jackson?
Yeah.
Right on that? I think
Red hot.
for ridiculously tenacious defense. God bless. That's how they called it. But then at the very end, they called that foul. So I'm not necessarily saying swallow whistles. If it's a foul, it's a foul. The problem from my standpoint is for the first 40 minutes or 39 minutes and 55 seconds, it wasn't a foul. And that is where I have a problem with it. That's where I have a problem with it. And that's fine, because we can debate officiating. We did this when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, and there was the questionable call, and the Chiefs beat the Bengals, and there was a questionable call. And we can go all the way back to 1985 from the Cardinals' standpoint and take your pick of whatever calls. What I appreciated, and the reason why I'm spending time on this, is I loved that somebody on a studio show, and granted, it's Charles Barkley, so it's exactly what you'd expect, but I just could not believe that those guys were hosting that show and spending time on a play that was, I don't think many people are even talking about. Well, you think about what happened, that Hail Mary, you think it was out of bounds, you think there should have been 0.3 of a second. People who watched that game are going, was that a foul? Was that not a foul? You have Gene Steratore there to comment on the officiating. You have a guy who's won national championships in Jay Wright. You have Charles Barkley. You have Kenny Smith, who also is outspoken. Clark Kellogg and Greg Gumbel. That's what you want to hear him talk about. And instead, it was agenda-driven. That's what it felt like, that we're not going to talk about something that has to do with criticizing officials, so we're going to spend time on a rule as opposed to a judgment call. And that is why it drove me up the wall, and that is why I love that Barkley restored order and asked the question that the people watching wanted to hear an answer to.
Yeah, I agree. And I think just isolating that play alone, obviously the context of the game matters. Absolutely it does. It always does. But isolating that play alone that they called a foul on, he put his hand on his left hip, used it as leverage to try to block the shot, and extended fully his left arm as the guy fell. That, just isolating it, is a foul. You cannot put your hand on someone's hip and extend your arm. That they're going to call that. Now, given the context of the game, I totally understand that making a call like that was bold. But when you just look at that play alone, I believe it was a foul.
As Jay Wright said following the game, that these officials are trying to advance themselves. And I don't know how many people watch the post-game show in its entirety. It's a Sunday afternoon. I certainly would understand if no one was watching it. They want to advance to the Final Four, and so they get graded. They get graded, and whoever has the best grades gets to advance to the Final Four. I know this might seem ridiculous. I was surprised they were having this conversation, and so they get graded on how many calls they missed versus how many calls they properly made. And so that is something that they are thinking. And I believe it was Kenny Smith who said that they shouldn't be advancing based on making that call because they missed a bunch of calls where those kind of fouls were committed earlier in the game but were not called. And so that's my issue. A foul is a foul by the letter of the law. Just like a crime is a crime, doesn't matter who committed it. Whether things get actually pragmatically applied that way is two different conversations. But with regards to the way the game was called, that is my issue. And the game was not called with a billion fouls. And then at the end, you call that foul that was inconsistent with the first 39 minutes and 55 seconds. And that is my issue with it. But bigger picture, my issue is that 5 minutes on CBS were spent discussing the Hail Mary play, which I don't think many people gave a damn about. They cared about the foul call.
It was over by that point anyway. They had virtually no chance. Yeah, if you're going to call the foul, if that's a foul at that point, then you could have called 100 other fouls earlier in the game on the same type of stuff. When in doubt, especially with the game on the line, when in doubt, swallow the whistle.
Yeah. But as we've talked about 100 times, man, it's a split-second thing.
I know.
So if you see it and you believe it, sometimes you don't even think. It's just muscle memory. You see something like that, and the whistle just blows. Like I'm telling you, it's crazy how fast you have to be. So it's tough to, hindsight is very gracious. Because I think if he had to do it again, if they had to look at it again, maybe they don't call it. But in the real time, it looked like a foul.
I don't know how you look to Quayton Boudreaux in the eye and say all that work he did all year, it came down to that call is what knocked you out.
Sure, but they're
Greg McDormand.
You miss shots. Does that, you can go back in time and play that game with anything. If you miss a shot, you would have made it. It would have been a different situation.
Yeah, but that's on them. They'll feel like someone took it away from them now. And I thought the refs...
100% agenda-driven. Gumbel and Kellogg tried their best to shout everyone down, but it did not work. That's from Ken's wedding toast. From the 314, it was a foul. From the 636, the fix was in. So, Doug, differing opinions.
I don't know who would have been fixing a game for San Diego State. I guess it's possible that the ref was in on the take. I kind of doubt that. I doubt that. I thought that in the Gonzaga game against UConn, they played UConn, right? Is that who killed? Yeah. They called a couple on Drew Timme that were questionable, too. And when he had 4 fouls, it was over.
Yeah,
they took him out early in the second half because he had 4 fouls on a couple of them were questionable. And that game was over at that point. They never recovered in a big way. They got trounced as soon as he sat on the bench.
Yeah. They were debating the whole time just playing him with 4 fouls the entire second half because it was clear that they didn't have it without him.
Yeah.
For the record, with regards to the Final Four, UConn is minus 125 to win the whole thing. San Diego State plus 365, Miami plus 500, and Florida Atlantic. Doug, if you think this is the year for the Owls in Boca, plus 600.
Speaking of owls, we got one in our backyard that won't shut up. It's so loud it sounds almost like a dog, but there is no dog back there. And it goes almost every night, making the same sound about every 40 seconds or so. You can hear it inside. It's so loud.
You thinking about going out there and taking him out?
Well, I don't have a long gun to shoot him out.
Could have a nest there. Maybe he's had babies.
Well, he wouldn't have had babies.
Or she.
I know he won't be this time, but yeah, I don't know. It sure is loud, and it makes the same sound.
It's unusual for an owl to stay in the same spot for a long period of time.
Are they gypsies?
Well, unless it has a nest or something. They just kind of move around because they get spooked pretty easily.
Probably does have a nest up there. They got to live somewhere.
Doug, since St. Louis is buzzing about the possibility of hosting the NIT Final Four, I wanted to give you the Final Four odds for the NIT. UAB is the favorite, plus 210. Wisconsin's plus 230. North Texas is plus 250. And Utah Valley is plus 400.
Bet the roll on UAB. Jelly Walker, bro. Look up Jelly Walker.
Don't tell me what to look up.
He is unbelievable. He is...
Jelly Roll?
No, Jelly Walker. Jordan Jelly Walker. He plays for UAB. He's sick.
Why are we... Okay.
Why are we talking NIT?
What's the beef?
Nah, here we go. I'm going to get something.
Well, you know you got grade 4 teams when everybody's plus.
Like, I love the tournament.
Nobody's really favored.
The number of teams in the tournament right now, I think it's perfect. And we're having a great tournament of parity, so I know that's going to be the angle to where why are we extending the tournament? We're extending the tournament so Utah Valley and UAB can get in. I think right now is a perfect time to say we're not allowing any more teams in. There's no more playing games. We're done with that.
Well, who's saying they're going to add more teams?
I think aren't they extending it to like 85 or 90 some odd teams in the next few years? Isn't that being discussed?
I don't think so.
I mean, there's like people like are bringing up
Dennis Gates. He's outspoken about wanting to see him expand.
Oh, that was when it started. Okay.
Yeah, there's no. To my knowledge, there is no NCAA discussions going on about expanding the tournament, but they have expanded the tournament in the last 15 years. They expanded it from 64 to 68.
Right now is perfect.
Yeah,
it's literally
pretty good
perfect.
the way it is
playing
right
games,
now.
the competition right now, letting in another 20-some-odd teams. I hope they never do that because that completely waters down everything.
Makes more
they
money.
will.
You make more money if you expand the tournament.
Every conference has a chance to get in. Virtually every division.
But then you're going to see, if you expand, you're going to see every year the kind of Final Four.
I'd like to see
because it's
Linden would get
impossible
in.
for a 1 seed to go through a gauntlet like that.
Not impossible. There's been a 1 seed in the Final Four for every year for the past 10 years.
What I meant is like extending it even more, that you're going to start to see more of these types of Final Four than you will.
Then you give a bye to the top 4 seeds.
I don't know, I just think you play 30-some-odd games in the regular season, it doesn't mean jack like it used to. I mean, you shouldn't have to play 5 or 6 tournament games to win a national championship after playing 35 games of conference tournament.
Someone's going to get through it. Someone's going to do it.
Well, someone will, yeah, but I don't know. I don't like the team that's hot for that 2 weeks. Kind of ruins it for everybody who played 4.5, 5 months of really good basketball.
Well,
so I like it right now as is. Perfect amount of team, perfect amount of playing games.
Yeah, I'd agree. I don't think they need to tinker with it right now.
No.
Doug, it's owl mating season, and that fella is trying to get after it. Also, that owl is me. Come hither. Thanks. That's from the River to Perry yacht captain. So the owl has just texted in.
God, he is loud. I worry about the dog. You know, he might pick up Dora. Every time Dora goes outside, I got to stand right next to the dog for fear that this owl's going to... I think an owl might have been what got my cat Smokey. I mean,
Just picked him up?
Yeah. They pick him up, and then they fly up in the air, and then they drop him, and then the cat or dog falls to the ground and dies, and then they pick him up again and go eat him.
Wow, really? Holy
yeah,
crap,
that's
I
how
didn't know
they
that.
do it. Yeah. If it's a real small dog or cat, you know, those big birds can get them.
Well, you got to take this owl out, bro.
I don't have
You
a
got to take
long
out the
gun.
River to Perry yacht captain.
Oh, the neighbors want him taken out because he's just loud. It's like a dog barking or something. I didn't mean to turn the discussion in another direction for my little owl problem. It's
Well,
just
call
never-
pest control.
Will they take care of an owl?
I'm sure they
won't do
would.
anything to
They
an
think it's a
owl.
nuisance. You got pets that could harm.
I don't know that they would.
They'd shoo it off.
Some of those owls are endangered. You got to be careful.
Yeah, they stop construction projects due to owls and things like that.
Well, I'm not saying they're going to kill it, but they could
What do you think?
put it somewhere else.
Someone's going to climb a tree and how do you catch an owl?
I don't know.
It can turn its head, Doug.
I know. That's what I needed to do to be able to see Iggy in the old studio.
I've only seen one owl in my life.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of them.
I've only seen one. It was standing at the old Webster Studios during Kegler's Corner.
Was in the studios?
No, during a break.
Next to the go-go dancers.
During a break from Kegler's Corner, I was standing out on the patio, and I just hear this wingspan go right over my head. What is that? An owl came off the roof and right over my head. The wingspan was like 10 feet.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've ever seen an owl.
Well,
I've heard them, but I've never seen them.
yeah, I hear one every night. About every 45 seconds.
What is it?
Good morning.
Not really, no.
I would rather be ripped apart by an owl than listen to the overcooked Toad talk about his documentaries from his masturbatory vacation. That's from the Shrewsbury Seat Sniffer. I didn't really feel like Iggy spent that much time on his documentary.
I spent like 2 seconds at the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour saying I watched Pornhub and I watched Hunting Hitler. That's pretty much it.
Did they ever find Hitler? Alive?
There's a lot
at the time?
No, there's a lot of information that makes you think he got out of that bunker.
And so what did the conclusion of this documentary say?
That he did not die in his bunker. He died in Argentina.
All right.
Well, you have to watch it. It's pretty...
I would just like to know how it comes out.
What app is it on, Iggy?
I watched it on Hulu.
Hulu?
Yeah, actually, I remember I had to keep watching commercials.
Pain in the ass is what that is.
Yeah, it was on the History Channel, but that's part of Hulu, so... Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay. Eva Braun, get out with him?
No, I think one of the skeletons that they did an autopsy on was a female. But then nobody saw him come out. They wrapped him up, they burnt him, and then they only had these burnt skeletons, and so nobody really saw him come out of there. Anyway.
I like the Inglourious Bastards version where he gets shot in the face 100 times. I subscribe to that.
Oh, my God.
Boy, I like that movie.
Oh, it's
that
so
Inglourious
good.
Bastards is so good.
It's so good. It's on Netflix all the time. I'll just pop it on real quick just to
Yeah.
watch like the opening scene with Christoph Waltz. That alone will just do me for a good while.
Do me, baby. Do me, comma, baby. BBD 1990. I'm going to say 91.
I don't know the years, Tim.
And they get me 92 and 90, so I think I'd be good. Big jobs on big properties demand a big side-by-side, one that's big in power, performance, and comfort. Enter the first-ever Honda Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew, available now at Big St. Charles Motorsports. The Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew has loads of power, thanks to a 999cc engine and a 6-speed automatic dual-clutch transmission. It delivers serious performance, sporting a hefty hauling capacity and a 2,500-pound towing capacity, both made easy thanks to Honda innovations like tow haul mode and self-leveling rear suspension. And when it comes to comfort,
The new Pioneer 1000 Crew shines, giving you best-in-class comfort for 6 occupants. Hop in the back seat, and you've got shoulder room for 3 and leg room to spare. As for durability and build quality, we'll let Honda speak for itself. The name speaks for the quality. Head to Big St. Charles Motorsports at I-70 and the Cave Springs exit, and see the all-new Pioneer 1000 Deluxe Crew today. It's Big St. Charles Motorsports.com. For your safety, read the owner's manual, wear a helmet and eye protection always, wear your seatbelt, and keep the side nets and doors closed. Honda side-by-sides are for drivers 16 years and older. And think about it. Iggy, can you tell the people about Brush Creek Valley Farms? And I understand we have an app contest going on where you can win a $50 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Farms.
That's right.
Do we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, subscription meat box program, so customers are guaranteed to receive top-quality steak, burger, and roast cuts monthly. Users can build their own box, purchase curated boxes, including the TMA box, or buy in bulk. You just apply the discount code TMA10 for 10% off box orders, for 5% off TMA5 for 5% off bulk orders. How do you do? Brush Creek Valley Farms.
Wow. That's a great giveaway. Now, I hope people are ordering the TMA box. We put that together, and Tim just mentioned the weather, 60s and 70s coming up.
How do you do?
Grilling season.
Yeah.
Brush Creek Valley Farms has teamed up with us to create the TMA meat box for our listeners to purchase for this grilling season. The TMA meat box contains pasture-raised ribeyes, sirloins, fillets, and pork chops, and each cut is thick as the day is long, Doug. If that's not enough, every item they sell doesn't contain any hormones or antibiotics to ensure our walruses are well-fed with the best quality cuts of meat. So go to brushcreekvalley.com, search for the TMA at the top of the homepage, and you'll be directed straight to the TMA box. You will automatically receive 10% off. You don't have to put in any codes or anything.
What code do I have to put in?
You have to put in nothing. Okay. Just click on TMA box, and you automatically get 10% off. Now,
Just
if you
write
want,
in nothing? Is that case sensitive?
there'll be no promo code.
Oh, there's nothing at all that you have to do.
Yeah, you don't even search for a promo code.
Okay.
You'll see the meat box, click on it, boom, you're already 10% off.
All right, type in nothing and you get the 10%.
Now, if you prefer to build your own box, because some of our listeners, look, I want a bunch of fillets, I'm at a party.
That'd be nice.
I'm going to order 20 fillets, the box of fillets. You can build your own box. But be sure to enter, now you do have a promo code here.
Oh, okay.
If you build your own box, you have to enter TMA10 at checkout.
TMA 10 or TEN?
That's right.
10. TMA 10 checkout. That's for your 10% off your order. So support a local family farm. Go to brushcreekvalley.com to order your TMA box or build your own box. Have great tasting beef and pork delivered straight to your door. Brush Creek Valley Farms. High quality meats for a lowbrow audience.
Sounds good.
You know what I'm in need of, Doug?
What?
I need a Mark Hanna call. I need a Mark Hanna call in my life.
Oh,
and
is he here?
that's because he's a life Sherpa. And you know what he does? He puts you on the right path. He makes you think of things, and then you think through things, and then you can make an educated decision. That's why he is the best. 314-889-0503, or go online at evergreenstl.com. Yeah, sure, he was responsible for the Berlin Wall being torn down, but he also can... He was. He also can be responsible for making your portfolio strong to quite strong. It's Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies, 314-889-0503. Or go online at evergreenstl.com. He is the great communicator. He is Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Another TMA app contest going on. Win a 4-pack of tickets to AEW. Just open up your TMA mobile app for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to All Elite Wrestling. AEW Dynamite Rampage returning to Chaffetz Arena this Wednesday, March 29th. How do you do?
No,
so you can win a
thanks.
4-pack of tickets. Look at that. We're just giving things away left and right here.
Oh. Now, who's in AEW?
Doug?
I don't know. I'm the one who asked.
Honky Tonk Man?
I gotcha.
I don't know.
Honky Tonk Man.
You got MJF, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson, Samoa Joe, Sting, and more.
Okay.
Is Greg Jarrett in there? I saw somebody get hit with a guitar on one of their promos, and that was his stick.
I don't know. I know MJF, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. All there. World champion, MJF.
Sounds like a lot of mayhem.
And Sting.
I bet Chaffetz is a good spot for that kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. Chaffetz a good spot for anything. It's a perfect size arena for stuff.
Yeah. And that's what you get.
Well, we're just giving them away.
4 tickets.
Yep, we're just giving them away. That's what we're doing. I had a friend of mine this week. Actually, I'll give the name, Doug. Spencer Head, because Jackson's attracted to him, right?
I just think he looks like Brooks Koepka. He's got similar distance. A little trouble controlling it, but once he gets a hold of one.
Oh, Spencer's accuracy just took shrapnel. What a shame.
Who is this Spencer?
He's I think he looks like Brooks. He's a great-looking dude.
Okay.
But you're very critical of his spraying off the tee.
No, I wish I had that kind of distance. But sometimes it goes.
But he does spray it.
Well, he doesn't always take driver because I've only played with the guy once, so I probably shouldn't comment too much about his driving accuracy. But that's just what I noticed.
He was texting me this weekend and asking about that Andrea's barbecue sauce, and I said, "Let me tell you something, brother. It is legit." And the next day he texted me, he goes, "You weren't kidding. That Andrea's barbecue sauce, holy moly, cockatooly. Get it at Schnucks or at Deerberg's or at Andreas.com. And, boy, I'm telling you, when I get back to St. Louis, Doug, the first thing I'm going to do is pour Andrea's barbecue sauce all over me and suck myself dry.
Oh, that's not what it's for.
We got fillets.
That's what the copy says.
chilling
I read what the
right now.
copy says.
Oh, we have fillets marinating as we speak in Andrea's.
Oh, is that right?
Tomorrow. Yeah, did it this morning. Super excited.
Nice.
Stuff is
The steak sauce, the restaurant. They've got the Kentucky Derby party coming up. You know, it might when you look outside and you go, God, it's 40-something degrees. You're not thinking Masties and Kentucky Derby and baseball. But just know, dear friends, that the weather is about to turn and sundress season and Kentucky Derby hat season will be fast upon us.
Have you guys got your sundresses yet for the Derby?
I do. I actually picked it out. Yep.
I got to tell you something. Watching the match play from Wednesday to Sunday, especially over the weekend.
Damn.
Well, it's a 5-day event. Especially over the weekend because the temperatures were in the mid-80s in Austin. My God, I've never seen so many sundresses in my life.
Really?
Every girl on that course had a sundress on.
Okay. They showed a lot of them, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I'm just saying that Austin must be big on sundresses. Every lass I saw, sundress.
Really?
Burns' wife out there sauntering around in a yellow sundress.
Okay.
And good-looking girls in Austin. So, Tim brought up sundress. I said
You
I
had
saw
a little
lot of
antidote to go with it.
saw a lot of them over the weekend on TV.
Okay.
So, ladies, anything coming up? Mardi Gras, anything coming up soon?
We've already had that.
Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo coming up in May.
Cinco de Mayo.
Get the sundresses out.
Oh, nice. That's an acoustic session song.
Make St. Louis proud. Austin has nothing on us. Get the sundresses out.
Good morning. It's great to hear Ken J.O.ing in public to women wearing sundresses. That's from the 636.
Well, it wasn't in
wow,
public.
what
It
a
was on
great
TV.
story. Thanks for interrupting to share that truly wonderful inspiration. Hashtag sarcasm. Hashtag that story sucked. Hashtag the hijacker hath returned. That's from Brian Henshin. He's a show ombudsman, and he's a dog's broadcast ombudsman.
It wasn't that bad of a story.
Hey, if I'm not mistaken, Tim was talking sundresses.
We were talking
So I
sundresses.
happened to
that we
see
might be
some
looking
this
for.
weekend. It was on TV. It wasn't
Right.
here. It wasn't really that warm to here.
You provided an example of the sundress being used to great effect.
The show needed it, and we got it.
The show also needs Mr. Licks, and he is on
Oh.
the phone lines. Doug, he wants to talk it over.
Hello, Lex.
Can I have until 9:45 for this call?
No,
No,
you got about
we're taking
2-3
a break
minutes.
in 30 seconds, with or without you.
2-3 minutes.
Iggy, did you say you were inspired by the sundresses? I missed what you were talking about.
No, I just said I saw a bunch of them.
Hey, can someone tell Carlos Spicy Wiener? I think it's him, but it's spelled Lix, L-I-X. Okay, get it right. And I can tell by the wine glass in his little fan page picture that steakhouse he was at was probably on Manchester Road.
Well, that'd be okay, wouldn't it?
Damn, dude.
One of the best steakhouses in St. Louis is in Manchester. Yes.
Charcoal House is right there on Manchester.
I think that's what Licks was getting at.
Oh, yeah. Iggy, it's owned by a couple of Greek guys, right?
Yeah, Steve and George.
That's right. Yeah. Great to the Science Center last week, and took my kids there. Let me just say, the amount of weight per capita in that building was amazing. I would not recommend going there for any reason, unless you're going to the IMAX, to see a
Really
show.
cool theater.
Oh, it was great.
Why was everyone so heavy?
I wish I knew, Doug. It was full of 3,000 elementary and high school kids from rural Missouri, like Melville or whatever.
That's not rural.
Not enjoyable in the slightest.
Well, isn't that a perfect field trip to take school kids to, though, the Science Center?
I don't know.
Well, it is.
School administrator. Mike Matheny charges $50 on Cameo.
Okay.
What, to help your investment portfolio?
How do you know
Isn't that
that?
a
You
little
pay
high?
for it? You pay for a little message from him?
I actually got one from the U-Man for my brother. And,
nice.
He was incredible, so fun. And I was looking for other St. Louis people, and I came across the skipper.
Okay.
Mine's only 25, so.
Would you like one from Iggy for $25?
Well, the people I want to get it for don't know who Iggy is, so it'd be kind of weird.
Oh. Okay. A little dismissive.
The PGA Tour is so soft.
Boy, you got some hot takes today.
Did you guys see they showed a list of past champions on the broadcast at the WGC, which they're getting rid of for no reason. The fans love it, and they're getting rid of it because they're geniuses at the PGA Tour. But they omitted Johnson and old Bubba on the past champions list. It's like so childish.
What do you mean they omitted him?
Crybabies. They didn't show. They just skipped those years on the list. They didn't show it.
I saw Bubba Watson 3 times when they showed the list, and even said that Bubba Watson had one of the biggest wins over Kisner, I think 6-5.
What list were you looking at?
Well, whenever they showed the past winners on the broadcast.
Well, who's they? What channel were you on?
Well, I was on ESPN Plus, and then I was on NBC, Golf Channel.
I'm talking about Fox. It's on Fox.
Well, what would Fox be doing? Fox wasn't covering it.
I just texted in the picture right now.
Let's say Doug, I'm going to the interior design facility. Going to the end. All I see is a text from Orson Woods Wacko that says Licks must have come home early from Destin if he went to Mommy's Day Out at the Science Center. That's all I see.
Yeah, you know what, Wacko? You've probably never had to worry about the FDIC insurance limit in your entire life.
Wow.
$250,000.
I guess it's a diss, but a poor like me doesn't understand that. So
Doug, that's a Silicon Valley bank reference.
I didn't feel like that was like a mic drop, but maybe it was
With
in the
current
rich community.
current banking crisis, people are worried that their money's not safe in a bank, but you're insured up to $250,000 for your account at each bank.
Yeah, old Wacko's safe. I can tell you that.
Oh, I think most of us are pretty darn safe.
Have you seen Licks' text he sent in yet?
You mean Wacko?
Let's see. He sent in a screenshot. It is from Fox. Past champions. Scheffler 22, Horschel 21. They skipped 2020, but did they play in 2020?
No, they didn't.
Okay. Kevin Kisner 19. They don't show who won in 2018 or 2017. Who won in 2018 and 2017?
18 Bubba did.
DJ.
What's great
and
is
then they show Jason Day 16, Rory 15, Jay Days 14, and then they go back all the way to the magic that was Hunter Mahan in 12 and Luke Donald in 11.
So why is the PGA soft? They don't own Fox.
I think over the weekend, did the PGA Tour hand McIlroy and his PR team the phone for Twitter this weekend? It's all about Rory McIlroy. Everything Rory does, he can eat a PB&J sandwich and Uncrustable. It would be the first thing they tweeted out.
Oh, wow.
I am really confused by the fascination with Rory.
Would you say you've had enough?
Me too.
Oh, it's ever since the what is it called, their documentary or docu-series
Full
there
Swing?
on Netflix?
Full
Yeah.
Swing.
He is the commissioner of the league. I'm not of the tour. Everything he does, they're salivating over. I don't get. He's was the mouthpiece, and now he is everything that the PGA Tour is, and it's weird.
Mr. Licks, there is a question directed to you, Doug. Since this is now a banking program, we thought we would pivot.
I'm not taking questions.
You'll take him
just so you know, here's the question, because it comes from one of our favorite new texters, Suckboy Tony of Soulard.
God.
What kind of dumbass puts more than $250,000 in the bank? You would earn less interest than my fuzzy left nut. Mr. Licks, I have a feeling you may want to respond to that.
If you're living in Soulard and you're trying to understand high finance, I suggest, go get a sandwich at Grandma Phone.
We'll answer his question.
Hey, don't diss Grandma Phone.
Not in Soulard either.
Yeah, that's
in the
the
Grove.
Grove, dog.
Question, but it will bore the hell out of everyone, and I think I'll be using terms that people don't understand. So, give time.
Okay. So in other words, you don't know.
I think if you just have so darn much money, you lose track of it. You just stuff a lot of it in a bank account to be extremely liquid with that amount of money, I guess.
Yeah, like Cam Young, or not Cam Young. Sam Burns won $3.5 million yesterday. Was he got direct deposit? Where does that $3.5 million go?
Dude, so
My understanding is they wire it.
It hits.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
It's called a wire. It gets wired.
Dude, there's a TikTok video.
Account information.
Yeah, there's a TikTok video of a guy who sold his tech company for like $1.5 billion, and the interviewer was asking, okay, so when you sold that, how did that come? And he said, yeah, $1.5 billion came wired into my account. He said it blew my mind. So yeah.
But what account? Right into his investment account?
He said it was in Chase account, probably his investment account. I'm not for sure if he.
Probably.
But yeah, all that goes right. You just account number, and it's amazing that much money just shows up right there.
Iggy, do you have a bank account? Or are you in cash? Are you straight cash, homie?
Come on, man.
Oh, me and Iggy are liquid.
That didn't go well. I'm sorry. Hey, listening to Tim talk, listening to him talk college basketball.
Go ahead.
Your range as a broadcaster, Tim, is truly magical. And I was.
Okay.
Let me just say, this is my last point.
Okay.
Wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay. I was podcasting a bunch of old shows. I don't have 3 hours every day unlike other people to listen.
But you've listened 3 hours today, am I correct? Or almost?
I was no, and I was listening. It was right after you guys were talking about the Mizzou Princeton matchup. I just have to say it's incredible how sharp Tim's mind is.
Oh, for heaven's sake!
I'm dropping him now. I got rid of him.
Put him down. Put him down.
Sometimes enough is enough, and I love Licks, but that was enough. Love the guy. I love the FDIC. Yeah, good for him.
Worsen Woods Wacko has responded to that FDIC observation. This guy is a proven dumbass. A lot of quote-unquote high finance guys are at the Science Center with kids on a Wednesday.
Well,
you can still watch.
Dougie was not happy with the BMI at the Science Center.
No, but having too much money in your bank account isn't a problem very many people have.
We do. We have that problem. But, most aren't us.
Usually, if you're smart enough to have that much money, you're smart enough not to keep that into a simple checking account or a money market account. It goes somewhere else.
I would. If I happen to win like $1 million in a lottery or $2 million, I just throw it in the bank and just live off the interest.
What, live off 1 or 2% that they're going to give you?
That's what, $100,000 a year?
No, that'd be 10%.
Wasn't it about 10%?
Okay. 10% on the checking account. You don't get anything close to that. Nothing close to that.
Well, I'd still live off the interest.
Well, why not put it in an investment account and maybe actually make decent money off of it?
Well, maybe I'll do that too.
Okay.
Take that, Doug.
But I would need that FDIC if I put in the bank.
You put $250 in there.
There aren't many people living off the interest they're making on a checking account.
I could.
It's almost like putting it in a mattress, only it's safer because it's in a bank.
Warren Buffett comes out with an exclusive interview. The reason I make all my money is I got my Bank of
Checking
America
account.
account.
Banks are clamoring to keep $3 or $4 billion in their bank.
Well, before I opened a bank account when I lived in Bermuda, I hid my money in the oven.
Because you never used it?
Because we got cash paid. We got paid in cash at the end of the
Oh,
week.
nice.
And I had all this cash. And I said, God, I could open a bank account, but I haven't yet. And I just kept putting it off, and I would just put it in the oven. And this is no lie. One night, I never cooked in my house. I always either ate at the restaurant where I worked, the hotel. We had a cafeteria where the staff could eat. And one night I was going to cook something, and I turned the oven on and went to the store while the oven was preheating, went down the street, and came back and opened the oven. There was smoke in there. I looked. I forgot my money was in there. My money's burning up.
It's not a great place to put your money.
Hello.
I've heard of people putting it in the refrigerator, wrapping it up, and then writing, fish or something on it to keep people from stealing it.
I just.
But never in
not
the
cooking.
oven.
I'm not cooking, so. And I didn't think about it.
Did all of your money go away? Did it literally go up in smoke, Iggy?
A lot of it did. I mean, the bank
much
was
money did you
nice
burn?
enough to take the ones where they could still sell serial numbers. I mean, the
Wow.
the edges are burnt.
This isn't from a bank robbery.
Is this why you pour to this day?
I took a picture of it. I don't know if I still have the it was a Polaroid camera. I took a picture of my money just burnt up.
A Polaroid.
Yes.
Of all the places to hide your money, the oven is like the one.
I don't know.
The one place. Maybe the toilet would be worse.
The upper deck in the toilet.
Oh, yeah, double bag that.
Someone
Nobody's
takes an
doing
upper decker
deck.
on you.
Oh,
I
you're still
figure I'm not
double
cooking. I wasn't cooking at the time. I hadn't cooked in this place yet. And who's going to
Why
go
the
look
hell
in my
would you
oven?
turn the oven on and then leave the house? That's from Sparky
It was
Pfeiffer.
pre in the oven.
That's a bad idea on its own, is
Yeah.
leaving the oven on when you're not home.
No, it's preheat in the oven, so I
Wait,
just.
but you don't preheat the oven if you're not there.
The place where I was going was like right around the corner.
Yeah, but
my anxiety would not allow me to do that.
No.
Oh, you should see me double checking. Like 4:30 in the morning before I leave, I'm literally turning ranges off that aren't even on.
Yeah, it's
Freak
better be
about
safe than
that,
sorry.
man.
I'm the same way.
Little OCD. In
A little bit.
Let's make sure we wrap up our appliance discounters 8 o'clock hour. Before we do, Mr. Licks might be interested in this with the kind of money that he's handling, and that is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens, Golf Digest, best in golf, and start improving your game today. Sure, driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. How many times have you hit a great drive only to miss the green, skull a chip, and three-putt your way to a double bogey? While tour players get up and down 2/3 of the time, scratch golfers still only get up and down around half the time. That's why guys like John Rahm and Max Homa have installed Celebrity Greens in their backyards, and now you can too. Anyone can put down fake turf and call it a putting green, but if you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. The number is 314-834-2339. That's 314-834-2339. Or visit clubhouseturf.com. That's clubhouseturf.com to see for yourself what they can do for you. They customize everything from the design all the way down to the speed of the green. 314-834-2339 and let them know we sent you on TMA. And we send you to James Carlton as well. 314-961-4800 or go online at carltoninsurance.net. That's James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. Check out the 307 5-star reviews for James Carlton and the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency on Google. That speaks to both James and his staff's commitment to customer service. We had an email from a listener last week who said the moment that he signed up with James Carlton, he began saving 50%. 50% with James Carlton. You have nothing to lose by calling. Call 314-961-4800. You've heard or seen, or both, James Carlton here on this show and on Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. His business continues to grow because people are experiencing exactly what I did 5 years ago when I made the switch to James Carlton. There is a difference both with finding ways to save you money and with the customer service you'll receive when you are in need. If you're calling about issues with your home or auto or life insurance, those are incredibly important. You need to know you're going to get through to somebody who knows your policy and cares with customer service. That's James Carlton's staff. 314-961-4800. Go online at carltoninsurance.net. Don't forget, we have these TMA app contests going on today. You can win a $50 gift card to Brush Creek Valley Valley Farms. That's on the TMA app contest. And then the TMA app contest of winning a four-pack of tickets to AEW this Wednesday. Just open up your TMA mobile app for your chance to win a four-pack of tickets to All Elite Wrestling this Wednesday at Chaifetz Arena. And we will be having our TMA Listener of the Month presented by Milagro Tequila. The end of the month is approaching. Apply to be the TMA Listener of the Month presented by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to a brighter side of tequila with Milagro by going to TMASTL.com. Buster Olney was a guest of Jackson and myself on Friday on Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. He lavished praise on Jordan Walker that he reserves for a handful of players he has covered in his career. Wait till you hear what he has to say about Jordan Walker coming up next. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. I've been the title sponsor of the Morning After for over a decade. And in these 10 years, I've learned a lot about shrubs and Dotem and, of course, our fearless leader, Tim. I honestly can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. Huge shout out and thank you to all the listeners. It's because of you that this is possible. Thank you for supporting the sponsors. If you ever need a home loan, I'm your guy. It all starts today at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan with Doug Vaughn to tell you about a new TMA sponsor, and that sponsor is Green Envy, a locally owned and operated company that can take great care of your lawn this spring. They've been in business, Doug, in St. Louis for over a decade.
Well, they know the conditions that exist here in Missouri. It's hard to have a perfect lawn in Missouri. It gets really cold, it gets really hot, it gets really wet, and really dry. If you don't have people that know what the conditions are like in Missouri, you're going to have trouble. But Green Envy, these people have got it figured out, I tell you.
Yeah, they really do. They treated my lawn earlier this month, and they can do the exact same thing for you. And Green Envy is a company that both Doug and I are using to make sure that our lawns look absolutely spectacular this coming spring and summer. You can work with Green Envy as well. 636-757-1600. That's 636-757-1600. Green Envy. Hey, this is Tim McKernan of TMA, and we are thrilled to have another new sponsor on board the show. A couple of guys I have gotten to know. Longo Biggs Injury Law, Doug Biggs and C.D. Longo here with me. And C.D., one of the things that I want our audience to know is this. When people get injured in an accident, they don't necessarily know what to do, and that's where you guys come into play.
Yeah, Tim, it can be a very confusing process. If you get hurt in a car accident or injured some other way, people do not know what to do. They don't even know how to start a claim. We're going to take the hassle out of your hands and make the entire process very easy. Injury cases are potentially worth a lot of money. We're going to make sure you get every dollar you deserve. We're very excited to be part of the TMA family. We're hoping to have a lot of fun with this. If you or a loved one do get injured, please remember us at Longo Biggs Injury Law. You can visit our website at longobiggs.com, and that is Biggs with 2 G's.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Okay.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open. Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Driving the ball 300 yards is cool and impresses your buddies, but scoring amounts to getting the ball in the hole. Thus, the best way to lower your scores is to improve your short game. If you want a golf green that putts true and gives you real grass performance when practicing chips, pitches, and bunker shots, the only company to call is Clubhouse Turf, St. Louis's exclusive partner of Celebrity Greens. Each Clubhouse Turf signature green is unique in design and can create your own backyard golf experience that your family and friends will enjoy for years to come. Call Clubhouse Turf today at 314-802-6229. Or visit them online at clubhouseturf.com.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the 2023 TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
If you are a commercial property manager, property owner, small business owner, or are involved in operations, listen up. Engineer Design Facilities has become the #1 commercial fire alarm service provider in the market. EDF's goal is to not increase your operating budget, but rather decrease it, and at the same time service your business's commercial fire alarm needs with the most experienced and competent technicians this region has to offer. Make sure your building is up to code. Email fire@edf-rg.com to schedule your systems evaluation today. That's fire@edf-rg.com.
Listen on the TMA app or at TMASTL.com to win a 4-pack of tickets to All Elite Wrestling, returning to the Chaffetz Arena this Wednesday. Don't miss AEW World Champion MJF, plus Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Jon Moxley, and more. Let's recap. Get the TMA app, sign in, listen, win. Learn more at TMASTL.com. You're hearing TMA all day on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis, featuring the Ryan Kelly Morning After, live from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Then a full show replay from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., followed by the best of TMA from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m., and another same-day replay starting at 10 p.m. Find the full schedule at TMASTL.com. Brought to you by Ryan Kelly at thehomeloanexpert.com, the most efficient mortgage process you'll ever experience.
105.7 HD2, the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Listen up, y'all. This is a song for the Cardinals. It's playoff time. October's here. It's time to gear up and get ready. Let's hear you cheer. Cardinals baseball. Happy Fly, Fred, Bird, retired numbers and players. Busch Stadium, the Arch, Clydesdales, and the Rally Squirrel. Game 6, walk off, victory, fireworks. Championship parade.
Sounds like Licks.
To the wave, to the wave.
You think this is Mr. Licks?
Cardinals playoff baseball, let's fill the seats with red. Time to work on magic, 12 and 12.
I like his guitar work.
How many playoff series you won?
Oh, yeah, guys. Alright. I'm going to give you the lineup.
I wonder how much money Lewis made. This song came out, too.
I know it's not Wednesday, but I see where Ween's coming to St. Louis in May.
I did see that. At the pageant? Or?
Ween brothers are?
Yeah, Ween.
Dean and Gene Ween.
In August.
Oh, that was May.
I think August 5th.
Shouldn't we have them in the studio or something? I mean,
I would assume they want to come in the studio.
Yeah. We've really helped their careers.
Well,
We have.
I mean, just to see them.
Retired numbers. Every team has retired numbers.
And players. Can't forget about players.
Yeah, but nobody puts a red jacket on Daniel Descalso quite like the Cardinals.
I don't think he'll get one.
Oh, he's getting one.
He won't
trust
get
me.
one.
Him and Skip Schumacher, they're all getting
Neither one will get one.
They have an obligation to hand out 8 a year, dude.
They don't.
Tino Martinez will
He
be rolling
didn't
up
get
in a
one.
wheelchair in 30 years.
I don't know if he'll show up for this ceremony. I don't think he ever wants to set foot in St.
I'm not
Louis
sure
again.
anybody gets one this year. You see that list?
Who's on the list, Iggy?
Oh, they're handing them.
I forgot. Let me look it up.
Yeah, they all seem to be borderline guys.
Yeah, I
When they
looked
get
at it and said,
Yeah.
is there a year that nobody gets in?
I hope.
I expect he'll get somebody because they want to have the ceremony. They want to.
Look, we've all seen a Clydesdale. I've seen them. I
get-
talked to Doug during the break. Like, this is the only time where adults act like they've never seen a horse in their life until they gallop out on the field.
I got
It's
Steve
unbelievable.
Carlton, David Freese, Matt Morris, Edgar Renteria, and Joaquin Andahar.
Yeah. You've never heard of Joaquin Andahar?
Well, Free should get it.
I've never seen the name spelled. I've heard the name. I've never seen it spelled out, so apologies.
David Freese is an insta ship.
Instant. The moments he has is instant.
Renteria, maybe?
Carlton was one of the best left-handers in the history of the game, But he only had a couple good seasons here.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
I mean, David Freese would be a perfect one, too.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
I
automatic.
just think it's
He'll get it. That's the house
automatic. He's a legend here.
Yeah.
So at least it wasn't as bad as I thought, but yeah, a few of those are pretty beyond borderline, I would
But
think.
if you're going to put Freeze in for one season, Carlton had a
One
season too.
I know Freeze had the moments, but it was beyond 1 year. I think he had a few productive years. But Carlton never did anything close to the playoffs,
No, not many people have had those kind of moments.
Those numbers
World
are
Series.
Freeze didn't have a Cardinal Hall of Fame career here.
No, not at all. No. I get where you're coming from. I'm there with you as well.
He's
but,
going in because of what he did in 2011. That's why he's
Correct.
going in, and he probably should because it's one of
That's
the greatest
enough.
moments in
Yeah.
St. Louis history. But he didn't have a great career here as a Cardinal.
But we'll have Waino, Yachty, Goldschmidt, and Arenado, and Pujols. So we'll have some good ones coming up. in the next. He hasn't got one yet? I thought some of the can't miss guys get him early.
No.
Stephen Wildwood says, I'm going in next year as a reward for bending over for a lease renewal.
No,
That was part of the deal.
Did he end up renewing?
I thought he was gone. I thought he was like moving to St. Louis Hills.
I did too.
Probably hard to find real estate.
If it's the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame, you'd probably get in for that.
What's funny was he texted me the other day asking if I knew a certain person that was from Canton who apparently lives in the building.
Oh.
And I said I was very familiar with him because he's
Really?
a year younger than I am. Yes, so that's.
So this guy's done well for
What
himself.
a small world it is. It's just. Oh, he's done very well. Yeah, he come from money though, so.
A lot of money in Canton.
Well, comparative.
Yeah.
Doug, maybe Jordan Walker will be wearing a red jacket one day. Based on what Buster Olney had to say with us on Balloon Party on Friday, he certainly is bullish on Walker's stats this spring, and his makeup. Here is what he had to say around the new Cardinal outfielder who will make his Major League debut Thursday for the home opener.
That he's a monster. You know, he is absolutely going to be a star in the big leagues because it's not only the raw power, you know, which you're going to get if you're 6'6" and 250 pounds, but it's also the bat to ball skills. He just rakes, and he's so much better of an athlete than you might think just by looking at him. When you see him, the comfort level that he's played the corner outfield, and we had him on a game. An exhibition game, and I got a chance to talk to him. He just seems so at ease in everything. You know, he is. I've described him to folks with other teams when we've had conversations about, hey, what have you seen this spring? And I mentioned Jordan Walker feels like a 35-year-old, 20-year-old in how comfortable he is already. And I suspect that, you know, as they evaluate the question about whether or not to keep him in the big leagues, one of the feeling is going to be something that probably is being uttered is, look, if he goes into a slump early in the year, he'll be able to handle that. You can feel that.
And that's what he said to Ali Marmol when he was told that he did make the team, that his best trait is his short memory. He has struggled since that shoulder injury, and that has continued. Hopefully it's a coincidence, but it is something that that has occurred. That's just math. But ideally, he rakes in his debut on Thursday, and there will be no concern. The Cardinals are on the Gulf side of the state today, taking on the Orioles, and perhaps this is a preview of what you will see on Thursday against the Blue Jays. Doug, would you like to guess the lineup?
Guess the starting lineup?
It's actually
For today's Cardinals and Orioles, tilt the old St. Louis Browns. Time for some vengeance.
Yeah, we're still upset that they moved out of town. What is that, 56 or 7? 58? Yep. Well, I don't know who all made the trip over there, really, to guess the lineup.
This is what you'll see on
the whole
Wednesday,
team.
I hope.
The whole team went over there?
Yep.
Oh, okay. We'll start with Donovan at second base.
Yes, there you go. Look at this.
Okay, and then we'll start with O'Neill in center.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Goldie at first base.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, Nootbaar in right.
Yes.
Nootbaar in right.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, left.
I'm sorry.
Yes. Nootbaar in left. Then Goldie, and then Arenado.
That's correct. Say Arenado, or else the 101 listeners will be at your home this evening.
Arenado. Okay. And fifth, I guess then maybe O'Neill in center.
No, I'm
Contreras
sorry.
catching. Contreras.
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll go with O'Neill in center.
Yes.
And then we'll go with Walker and right.
No, I'm sorry.
No. Oh, Carlson and right?
No, I'm sorry.
Gorman at DH?
Yes.
Okay. And now we'll go with Walker in right.
That's correct.
Okay. And now we're down to how many more spots? Edman?
Yep.
Okay.
Nailed it, Doug.
I'm surprised that they've got Walker as a right fielder instead of a left fielder. I kind of thought he'd be the left fielder.
Batting eighth in right field. I would have missed that one as well.
Because Nootbaar played right most of last year and did it very well. I guess Walker must have a rifle as a throwing arm, and they want that in right field.
Walker's projected stats, I think it was tweeted out. I haven't actually looked at what Yahoo has. But it was only about 10 home runs, like 38 ribbies.
I think I saw that, yeah.
I guess it's modest. I mean,
disappointing.
That would, to me, I would be disappointed. Now, I'm saying I don't know if you come close to that. I think you can go beyond that, but
that would be way below average for a major league outfielder playing.
That means he's getting called down and then called back up periodically. Yeah. No way you could play an entire year in right field and start and get those kind of stats. I don't think.
I think he's had more hype coming up than any player in my memory in Cardinal history.
And Tavares, this trumped Tavares, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it absolutely did because Tavares didn't make the opening.
I think Tavares had more hype.
Okay.
I don't think he did. I think this is it. You've got national guys all over talking about what a superstar Walker is.
I think at the moment, because Tavares debuted on a Saturday afternoon against the Giants in July. Doug, was that 2014?
I don't know the years.
I was there. It was raining with the sun out. It was an amazing.
Yeah. And he hit the home run. But I think the buildup of the years leading into his debut was bigger than the Walker one, which at the moment, because it's the start of the season, is more pointed and pronounced. Both have had incredible buildup, and then Walker, because there's a lot of attention on exhibition game numbers when he's putting up those kinds of numbers, and he started spring with these ridiculous numbers. I think that caught everybody's attention as well. Either way, we both would agree that they both received a hell of a lot of hype.
Pujols almost none. He was kind of an afterthought, even making the team. And then
that is correct.
And then as soon as he got up, you could say, "Oh wow, look at him!" Almost immediately.
And I loved Gorman in the DH spot because, he is a great defender, but him solely focusing on his bat, which is kind of what he's been known for throughout his high school prospect years. So I like that. Like I really think he's gonna, and he's not talked about at all. What is he, 21, 22? And he's an afterthought because of Jordan Walker. And I think he's going to have a sneaky good year because there's not a lot of pressure put on him, more so than what Jordan Walker has on him right now.
Yeah.
Jordan Walker will wear number 18. Doug, who is your favorite Cardinal to wear number 18?
Mike Shannon. Big Irish.
Andy Van Slyke.
I'm going Tavares because he's in my era of watching baseball.
All right. I go for Big Irish.
Big Irish.
I miss Big Irish. I hope he's doing okay.
Hey, if you are looking for a way to feel a little bit better, I would like to recommend Mentality, and go to lowtusa.com and work with the wonderful people at Mentality. It's lowtusa.com and Mentality. If you are feeling low energy, low motivation, weight gain, muscle loss, fatigue, tired all the time, feeling anxious, moody, irritable, impatient, those are symptoms of low testosterone. And Mentality is a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. Now, the normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it was not fully looked at, come get checked with Mentality. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restore their ability to perform normally at all levels. Compete at work and sports like you did years ago with Mentality at lowtusa.com. If you were injured recently in an accident, make sure you give a call to the fine people at LongoBigs.com. That's LongoBiggs.com. .com. These are local guys. They grew up on the South Side, and they, one of the two, whether it be Doug or CD, will be handling your case. When you're injured, it is a confusing process, and they will take the hassle out of your hands. Most people don't know how to even begin an insurance claim. They'll walk you through everything. There's a lot of money that could be on the line potentially, and they'll help you get every dollar you deserve. They will go to trial. Most cases have some sort of obstacle or complication. That does not mean they will settle your case for less. They accept all personal injury cases, but they focus on car accidents, trucking accidents, and catastrophic injuries. Giant out-of-state law firms don't care about their reputation in the community because they're not in the community. Longo Biggs, they are, and they do. They care about their reputation, and so they fight for you. LONGOBIGGS.com. That's LongoBiggs.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Send your emails in for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. 2 reserved VIP seats to see the movie Air. Advanced screening on Tuesday, April 4th at 7 p.m. at AMC Esquire 7. Jackson, are you excited for that picture?
Absolutely, man. Not only is it a movie about Jordan and Nike, it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck again for the 3rd time, I want to say. Obviously, Good Will Hunting, The Last Duel, and I think this one. So, yeah, I'm fired up to see that. It's a great prize.
All right.
Somebody's going to win it today for the for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Doug, did you get a chance to watch the Battlehawks? They played in front of 75,000 people in Las Vegas.
I don't believe there were 75 people there. I watched the game. I don't believe there were 75 people there.
Really? Good facility, though. Really good football.
That was embarrassing.
Well, it looked like something that people on the street said, "What's going on in there? Oh, let's go check it out." And they just let you walk in and sit down for a little bit, then leave. It was embarrassing.
Well, that's
Ripley's Believe It or Not
It's
museum.
a very bad sign for the league. I mean, we can draw 35,000 all we want here, but if the rest of the country doesn't buy into this, the league's not going to be around very long.
And Vegas is not very good.
Well, maybe they need to put a team somewhere else.
Dean Blandino, friend of the program, said on a show, let's see, Mike Perez and Gene Steratore, the world now occupy the broadcast space. As rules analyst Dean Blandino, the former vice president of officiating for the NFL from 2013 to 2017, was among those with that title before the XFL hired him as their head of officiating in 2020. He was on the NFL Network to explain decisions when he was the league's officiating chief from 2013 to 2017, and he said he did not think the NFL wants the level of transparency that the XFL provides. Quote, "I've lived it. I was with the NFL for a long time. Fans, coaches, they get the ruling and the announcement, but they don't understand the why. I think that transparency can help. I don't think the league, under the current setup, would want to broadcast everything. I just feel like it's not something they're interested in. But I do think the transparency, if there was a way for the league to explain calls, even after the fact, in a more complete way than just sending out a tweet to say the ruling on the field stood because it was clear and obvious, then I think that would be beneficial." But he says he does not think that the league is interested in doing what the XFL does.
No, I wouldn't think so. And I watched the game, and I thought it was cool how they did that. I guess the XFL doesn't need to have somebody throw out a flag and challenge it. Dean Blandino's up there, and he goes, "Yeah, hold on, we're going to take a look at this. I think he might have had a foot out of bounds." And they show him up there in the booth going, freeze it here, freeze it here. Do I have a drag? Do I have a drag? And then quickly go down and, okay, call on the field stands. Good call. And they show everything. I think it's kind of cool. Now, the NFL's not going to do that. Hell no.
Well, I'm rooting for the success of other teams around the league.
Well, there wasn't 1,000 people there.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, realistically, there wasn't 1,000.
Oh, there's no way there's 1,000 people there.
Well, if that's the case, then you need to move that team somewhere where you can draw some fans. Otherwise, you can't have too many teams like that. If the league will fold, they're not going to lose money doing this.
According to the XFL, they had 6,000 fans there.
There's absolutely... I will triple down. There's no way. No way.
That was the quietest 6,000 fans I've ever heard.
Let's see. This week, the XFL attendance was 6,033. Last week, only 6,008 showed up. So, Doug, they did have an increase of 25.
Yeah. Okay.
It's working.
It's not working there.
Yeah, it's really weird how that worked out. That it's so close in total.
You need to find city just as desperate as St. Louis. Like, and there's plenty of them out there.
Vegas isn't
that
even
may sound horrible, but that's how the XFL succeeds. Is you can't put it in L.A. or Vegas, and I get that it's a double-edged sword because you need the TV contract. But if you're in New York or something, what's it going to take for you to go to an XFL game?
Yeah, probably a lot. Free tickets, probably.
I don't even know. Free tickets, free parking,
Vegas
free hot
isn't
dogs,
a big
free
enough
hot dogs.
TV market to worry about that. Vegas isn't. L.A. is one thing. New York is another. But Vegas isn't that big of a TV market.
That's hot.
You need to put it in cities like Toledo and
Or big cities without NFL teams. The Oklahoma cities and Memphis and places like that.
Yeah. Putting it where there are 1 or 2 NFL teams is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane to even think about getting a crowd at all.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. I saw Mr. Licks at the old station one time arguing with Gangster Pete about not being able to redeem his Fantastic Sam's haircut with the purchase of a Grint membership from the listener rewards section on the Plowsy Plays Cards with the Dever Boys in a Barn all-day app. Thanks. That's from Gunter Quintana.
Dude, that's such a big... It's like an 8-minute segment.
It's one of my favorite segments.
It's like 8 minutes long.
I'm just so fascinated by playing poker in a barn for all night.
Oh, there's a garage underneath of it. It's shaped and colored like a barn, but up top it is insulated with a few poker tables. But down below it's a garage, so it's not just like a barn in a town. But it does have the appearance of a barn because that's how they shaped it and painted it. But yeah, we did it all for Kmart, baby. Put it on the line for a nice breakfast at 6:30.
By the way, Casey just announced that Eric Clapton coming to the Enterprise Center in September.
Okay, that's legit.
Will you get tickets there to go?
I will sign up for that because I love Eric Clapton.
No.
That's legit.
Did you get tickets to The Cure?
I did get lucky enough to get tickets to The Cure.
What city?
Where one?
Nice.
Which one?
2 for Chicago.
Who are you going up there with?
I don't know. We'll find somebody.
Married lady?
Where are you going to stay at? Are you driving back that night, or?
I don't know. It's not till June 10th, so...
I can ask Gareth if you can stay with Gareth.
Yeah, what about staying with Gareth?
If you could find free lodging.
Yeah, unless I fly up there, and then you just get a late-night flight, and just after the concert, maybe get something to eat, go to the airport, hang out till it's time to fly back, and get a red-eye.
What are the prices from, because it's such a short flight, what's the average price round trip?
It's probably cheaper to fly than it would be to get gas.
Is it like 150 round trip? Would that
sounds
sound
ballpark.
right?
Yeah, probably ballpark.
Driving, wear and tear on a vehicle, night driving, dealing with other drivers. I think flying may be the move. I'm surprised I say that because I'm always a proponent of driving. But
I told people that Robert Smith was not going to let them gouge the fans for tickets.
Good on Robert.
And I got 2 tickets. I've never been to what's it in Chicago?
United Center?
Where the Bulls play.
United Center?
Yeah, I've never been to United Center. So, section 103.
Sounds nice.
Which it looked fairly decent on the thing, like three sections from the stage. $100 a ticket.
That's good. Damn, that's good.
And if you wanted tickets in like section 400 just to get there, like $20. And then Robert Smith was pissed off that Ticketmaster charged what they did for all their extras, to the fact that Ticketmaster's never done this. They were giving people money back, anywhere from I got a $5 refund on 2 tickets.
Well, I think, and Jackson, you may be more privy to this. I do believe this is the case where Drake and 21 Savage fans are suing Ticketmaster because of the hidden and just ridiculous fees. So I don't know when that lawsuit was to win, but maybe Ticketmaster's trying to save face and do good with their customer. I saw some of the fees that were tweeted. It was insane.
Yeah, it's
insane.
I mean, yeah, that's
like the price of a ticket.
Like, I feel like the fees thing, like anytime I use like not specifically Airbnb, but like an Airbnb type app or Vrbo or whatever, you get banged on the fees. Like, that's, third-party ticket websites, you just get banged on fees, and you kind of know that going into it.
Ticketmaster deserves their cut. $3, $5. I'm good with that but you can't charge somebody 3 different sets of fees that add up to $60.
Sometimes it's
for
the
like
price
an
of the
$80.
ticket.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For an $80
ticket,
you're spending $40, $50, $80 in fees. It's insane. So, I think there is a lawsuit against Ticketmaster as we speak. I don't know where it's at in the process.
Well, anyway, good on Robert Smith for looking out there, not trying to gouge the fans. And
You like that?
Well, thank you, Bob Smith. Have you given any real thought who you might go with, though?
Yeah.
That's what I'm concerned about.
No, I haven't.
Should we have some sort of contest? Go with Iggy to the concert?
No.
Oh, that would be terrible. Actually, awesome. That would be terrible for Iggy.
Iggy didn't sound like you really spent much time thinking about
Send in
those
your
ideas.
photos. Send in your
Well,
photos.
whoever I take is going to pay for the ticket.
They have to pay for it.
Yeah,
Like their ticket,
I'm
not both.
I'm not taking a date. I'm going to take somebody who wants to buy the other ticket.
They should probably.
So there's a chance a gentleman goes with you.
Maybe.
What if it's a real attractive lady? Then you would pick up her tab, wouldn't you?
Probably not, because I'm not trying to find a date to go to the concert. I'm trying to somebody that enjoys the Cure and wouldn't mind paying $100 for the ticket.
And a flight up there.
Or drive up. I don't know, maybe make a day of it. Leave, have a nice little road trip.
Stay at Gareth's.
Not a nice little road trip.
Say Gareth.
Driving
You
for
should
5
do
hours
that.
to the cornfields of Illinois.
You're just poo-pooing this Gareth's stay.
Right?
Could be great.
What's wrong with staying with Garrett's pad?
I don't know Gareth. Is he the guy that gave Flowsy the different shirt?
No,
that
it's
was Herb.
You definitely want to stay with Herb if he's offering up a room.
He doesn't live in Chicago, unfortunately. But Gareth does. And
What part of Chicago?
Ooh, suburbs. So it'd be a drive.
Maybe I'll stay with my friend from Hito that owns a chocolaterie up there.
A chocolaterie?
Okay, that sounds like
Don't
way
say
better
chocolaterie.
content. You need to stay with the person.
Confectionery, yeah. Chocolate confectionery.
Candy store.
How long has it been
mostly
since you've
chocolate.
talked to this person?
Well, probably 10 years.
That'd be a tough one.
Please stay on my couch.
Probably still not there. But.
I'd plant the seed now.
Yeah.
And act like you want to get together at a random date, which just so happens
I've got
to be
over
the Cure.
I've got over 2 months to think about it. So.
But if women were to send in photos saying, I'd like to go with Iggy to Chicago, would you at least consider that option as a...
Yeah, like most of the photos that are sent in here are so legit.
Is the concert on a weekend or a weekday?
I think it's a Saturday, which is
Nice.
Which is
Oh,
perfect.
pony.
That opens it up.
Pony.
Because I was going to say, if it's like a Wednesday, you might be hard-pressed to find someone who can just, like, take off work for maybe 2 days. But
I think it's
Saturday?
a Saturday, which is nice.
That is great.
You'd
Guys, Jackson's really pushing this Gareth thing. I wonder if there's a favor for butt play he's trying to pay forward. That's from Brian Henshin, Joe Budsman.
I just think it would be how two worlds could collide if Iggy stayed at Gareth's pad.
Makes sense to me. You go up on a Friday, Saturday, you wake up, you go shopping at the Miracle Mile, you dodge the bullets that are flying in Chicago, and then you go to this concert with this married lady. It sounds like a heck of a time to me. You're not interested. You're on your phone while I'm talking.
I was making sure that June 10th was a Saturday. I don't want to give out bad information.
Okay.
It is June 10th, Saturday.
All right.
Nice.
So I could leave on a Friday
Well, you could.
afternoon and just make a weekend of it.
Sure, you should.
Maybe
Why
it's
not?
Taking a Cubs game.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. And Young, I saw a bunch of gals wearing shorts on the golf course over the weekend. That's it. That's the story. Thanks and welcome back, Strode, the senior stroker. It's from #1 Asian intern Brian Henshin, a.k.a. ASMR Ting Ting 22, one of 2 Greek owners of a steak place downtown Licks the Tryhard was talking about, like what you hear. Go ahead and tap that subscribe button and nuzzle up to the bell for notifications. Sign up in the next 5 minutes and I'll hook you up with a Mike Matheny cameo hit.
No.
Sup, sluts? Former Cardinals manager Michael Q. Matheny here. The Q is for cutie.
Brian Henshin. Q is for cutie.
He lives in the city, too.
And Young, guess who's back? Back again. Strode is back. Hijack in. Quiet start today from King Ken, but Manny delivered in the 8 o'clock hour. Quote, yeah, I used to hide my money in the Onion. Then this one night I forgot the money was in there, turned on the Onion, left the house, and anyway, one thing led to another. And that's why I'm living in a Section 8 housing. Don't believe me? Well, I have Polaroids. Thanks again. Welcome back, Eggs. Glad you're healthy, buddy. It's from #1 Asian intern Brian Henshin, a.k.a. ASMR Taylor. Some guy sent me a bunch of Polaroid photos of burnt dollar bills in an oven, so I guess if you subscribe, I'll autograph one of these photos and send one your way post-taste. Doug, did Onion get auto-corrected from oven?
Probably so. Probably so.
Seems like it might.
Brian Henshin, point 2.
I don't believe I said onion. I said oven.
Boner, he wrote. He looked like the kind of fellow who would actually visit the eye doctor at a Walmart supercenter. You know the type of guy I'm talking about. He was tall and lean. He had a slender build, but was saddled with a huge hog between his thighs. A meaty member like that is actually a burden. Take it from me, I know. I'm not packing heat, but my father-in-law is. I've seen it. I've been close to it. I've touched it. Milt, my wife's dad, once had too many Busch Lights at Thanksgiving dinner. He pulled me aside to divulge his secret. He whispered, "You see this bulge?" I said, "Do you see this bulge?" Most men are envious of this oversized skin salami, but I wish I could trade it for something smaller. If I could reduce this beef bust down to a more manageable 8 inches, I'd be happy. Alas, this burden is mine alone to carry, unless you'd like to help me lighten the load a little bit. You know, just kind of hold it in your hands, just for a minute, just so I can feel a little relief. Kind of like Hercules holding the weight of the world for Atlas. But in this case, you'll be handling the weight of my girth. Of course, you can do more than hold it if you want. And that's the story of how I got my father-in-law to pay for my bifocals at the Edwardsville Walmart Vision Center. That's from the JV golf coach.
Sure. JV golf coach.
You know who doesn't have an agenda? Tim McKernan, that's who. Unless an absolutely perfect show is an agenda, and it didn't change. First minute, halftime, or last minute of today's show. Our liar's back, and you're going to be in trouble. Hey, La, our liar's back. You see him coming. He's going to tell falsities on the double. Hey, La, our liar's back. Like at 8:42. That's odd for an owl to stay in one place very long, end quote. And the man said it with conviction. Well, guess what Fibber did? According to birdgap.com, owls stay in one place for as long as 8 years. Most owls do not migrate and keep the nesting spot in the same area year after year. Kind of a cute owl story. My fry cook job has me working some wacky hours, so I get running late at night. Take last night, for instance. I was jogging in Sunset Hills when I see this dude sleepwalking in a sundress. I was like, "Hey, buddy, okay?" He was immediately apologetic and said he had insomnia ever since an owl dropped his cat Smokey out of the sky, like Slim Pickens riding that bomb in Dr. Strangelove. Long story short, I penetrated him as he wept sitting in my lap. That's from a lady by the name of May, and then the last name is Kim, and then dash finish.
May Kim dash finish. She's new.
Is that K silent?
Welcome to the show.
I think so.
You know, it's an honor and a privilege to simultaneously compete for Emailer of the Month with Ghost Rider to the Stars, who actually has twice as many wins as I do this month if you count the emailers he's ghostwriting for. Wow. And also compete for the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month against the CBC grad who sends in multiple emails a day posing as an ASMR cam boy, but really he's a high school sports reporter in Indianapolis and a shrewd texter named after an obscure April 28th holiday. Did you see Cletus comment on the fan page club championship thread over the weekend addressing Jackson's virginity? He said, quote, "FYI, all you knuckleheads say Action Jackson's a virgin. Look at that logo. His hole has been penetrated." End quote. He hole tee he. You think Jerry the Logo West ever had his hole penetrated? How about the smackdown UConn put on Gonzaga? I heard about the game Khalid El-Amin and Jake Voskuhl had held Drew Timmy down as Jimmy Calhoun motorboated him with his new set of man boobs.
Jesus. There's a lot going on in this email.
I know a lot about literally setting my money on fire, and it's great. Ken Strode. We're going to bring that back. No. How about that whole deal? Great to have Iggy back from his extended masturbation sabbatical where he pleasured himself to PGA wives in sundresses in between sods of that Hitler documentary. Glad to hear Iggy got tickets to The Cure. Genuinely happy for him. It's from Buck Swope.
Buck Swope with a fine little email.
And finally, Chapter 71. So you think you got what it takes to not book guests anymore or not hit the record button during important interviews with Riz on HD2? A day in the life. At long last, 10 o'clock already. All that's left to do is jiggle some doorknobs, sniff around for Learn, and head back to my elderly aquarium for 21 hours. Maybe when I get there, I'll hang my adorable little old man uniform up in my living room pantry and treat myself to a romantic masturbate.
Oh.
Nothing hits the spot quite like slapping around the old feral hog after putting in an honest day and talking over my coworkers at the office again on the heels of a minor sniffle in late February that put me on a self-assigned temporary disability leave for all of March. That's why it's good to have a routine so you don't find yourself accidentally falling into long bouts of make-believe yellow fever. I like to start the day around 7:07 by making a real meal of my first slurp of coffee directly into the microphone to mark my territory while Tim asked Doug if he saw any of the minor league Pop Warner sporting events that our town hosted over the weekend.
Nice. It's true, and we love it. They are Pop Warner, though.
They aren't.
I find it sets a nice tone, and then it's mostly just a mixed bag of talking about how much I don't miss the fan page, commenting on listeners' wives' personal Facebook pages, and talking about the time I heard the wingspan of an owl 19 years ago. After that, it gets pretty hairy because it's already 9 o'clock and I'm fresh off another smoke break. That's why I like to do something unexpected, like set myself on fire or give a special shout-out to a grade school friend from the roaring 20s. Then I just kind of catch up on the unsolicited DMs I sent over the weekend, and boom, quitting time again. Thanks, that's from Ghost Rider to the Stars. Join my Discord to talk to me and my moderators about the time I saw a nondescript woman wearing a sundress on TBS last Thursday, and it kind of inspired me to get into masturbating again.
Oh. Oh, no.
That's what we have for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today. What you got?
Well, I didn't catch his name, but the last guy I thought was the best.
That's Ghost Rider to the Stars.
Ghost Rider to the Stars. Gets my vote.
Yeah,
Turn your mic on.
Ghost Rider.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
Ghost Rider to the Stars has shipped the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. Hey, friends, The Feather, we've got a deal for our listeners, especially those of you looking to shave strokes. It's Holderness and Bourne, and you get 15% off when you go to hbgolf.com by entering promo code TMA15. We are talking about some of the best in golf apparel at Holderness and Bourne. It is sharp. They started the brand back in 2015 after they were frustrated with the lack of great-fitting golf shirt options and wanted to come in and change that. You can pick out an H&B collar from across the driving range. Why? Because it has premium interfacing, hidden collar stays, and an English cut that is modern but not too aggressive. Just go to hbgolf.com, enter promo code TMA15, and you get 15% off. Holderness and Bourne. Time for us to shut it down. Jackson and I are going to deal with a situation down the hallway. It's called Balloon Party on 101 ESPN. For the Plowhawk for Action, Jackson. For Kenneth Iggy Strode making his glorious return from my brother Kevin, for Douglas Sullivan Vaughn. I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
If you are a commercial property manager, property owner, small business owner, or are involved in operations, listen up. Engineer, design.